Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Tornado Tag Podcast, episode 137.
That's a lot of episodes.
It is a lot of episodes. We've done it. We're done. This is the last one now. Bob Backlund is the history of Bob Backlund is going to be our main topic tonight, which is really exciting because there's a lot about Backlund I'm going to learn.
Yes. And you will see Bob Backlund this Saturday if you go to the Pocono Slam Fest.
Yeah. And we will be covering that on the second half of the show. Towards the end, we will be covering everything going on at PPW.
Now, normally, just so you know, if you were to historically, especially after he turned heel, if you were to want to get an autograph from Bob Backlund, you would have to name the presidents of the United States in order.
Yes.
But now, for a modest fee, you will be able to do so.
Yeah. You know, funny, I would never put the words exciting and Bob Backlund.
Easy.
So
jealousy will get you nowhere.
I liked his when he came back and he was nuts.
Yeah, that was fun.
Great.
Yeah, so I only really knew Bob as the crazy old guy that had no chance of winning.
Yeah, that was.
But
That crazy old guy was the world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
like 3
really.
days.
I didn't really. I wasn't really like into it at that point in time. Like I know he beat Brett for the title.
The second time he
my-
beat Brett. Yeah.
My favorite match of all time.
It's a very interesting match.
Yeah.
all-time favorite
Whoever's
match.
phone's on, we got mute that.
Turned it off.
Um,
Mine's off, but it sounded like it was mine.
But anyway, so it's gonna be interesting to learn a lot about. I know he was a great shoot wrestler. Did a lot of
Amateur wrestler. He
Collegiate.
was a Division II champion at 190 pounds. He was ranked in the heavyweight division at North Dakota State.
we won't get too much into it.
Yeah,
but
we'll get into that.
we
later.
will cover that. We have some news that we're going to cover, as well as we're going to go over the PWI 2021 awards and see how close we got compared to them.
I think we did a little better, if I'm going to be honest.
I agree. I think there's some. I think we're going to get into some possible.
Yeah, I was looking at the
conspiracies
percentages for who else people voted for that didn't win. It's like there's no way people voted for.
Yeah, there's some weirdness going on. And listen, wrestling right now is a great time to be a wrestling fan because we just have so much of it and you can watch it every single day of the week, and it's the best time to be a wrestling fan. And I think fickle wrestling fans are fucking ruining it.
Yes, that was my grievance on the Festivus show.
Yeah.
Fickle.
Yeah, it's just people are really upset because they pick a side, and it's
You don't
so
have to.
stupid.
Yeah, you don't have to.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. But if someone else is enjoying it, let them enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, because the fact that we have competition and more stuff to watch is good.
Yes.
Why do we want just one wrestling show?
Yeah,
Why do you want one monopoly to rule it all? Like,
we had it for years and it was awful.
yes.
Yeah, so let's not go back to that. First off, we want to thank our Patreon subscribers. So we do have a new Patreon tier. It ranks from $1 to $25. Anything over $10, you are automatically entered in for a giveaway for a free t-shirt every month. So we'll pick one person every month who donates more than 10 for a chance to win a free t-shirt, any shirt they want from our merch page, or you can go buy a t-shirt from our merch page. It's all available. So now, and we're also doing a giveaway. So the team at Banging Bears Podcast got a Yeti koozie. It's hard to see on the
How dare you say koozie? It's a coaster.
A Yeti.
A Yeti. But it's laser and it's hard to see here, but it's laser engraved with the podcast logo on it.
It's like a fake koozie.
Fake koozie?
Yeah.
It's a fancier koozie.
It's a fancy
Yeah.
koozie there.
It's a better insulated
That's like saying the
koozie.
24/7
there we go.
title
We'll go that way.
Are the world titles a fake 24/7 world
They're
title?
both titles.
Yeah, but what one would you rather have?
They both go around your waist.
What one would you rather have?
I would want the one that's going to keep my drink insulated better. But I mean,
Yeah.
they are the same. Even the one,
They're not the same.
they are the same thing. Their job is the same thing.
They serve a purpose.
Yeah, but one is way better.
So you're agreeing they do the
Shawn
same
Michaels'
thing?
job is the same job that Michael Nakazawa has.
Sure. It's
One's way
wrestling.
better.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that one's not better than the other, but they're both koozies.
They're not both koozies.
Yes, they are.
That is not a koozie.
It's a
How dare
definitely.
you.
It's
You
a
should have a
Tony, they're
koozie
both
challenge like the
koozies.
Pepsi and the Coke.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But now some of the names we're going to read off that are on the Patreon are members of our network. I want to be completely upfront and transparent. They are not eligible for t-shirt giveaways or for the contest giveaway. So we want to thank Andrew Hare, Greg Reese, Heidi Blackwell, Ryan Galato from, I hope I'm saying your last name right. He is from the Fueled by Hops Beer Podcast.
How do
So
you
go
spell
follow
the last
them.
name?
Galiotto. Galado,
Galato, I would
Yeah,
say.
Galato, yeah.
Galato.
Kelly, Crystal Mountain Healing, Tommy Borsrath, The Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop, Brad Zalonis, Higher Than Other Words podcast, and Jay Horror.
Always and forever Jay Mysterio.
Jay Mysterio. And we recently just had a donator on the last podcast for Truth Behind Illusion. So thank you, Jen, for your $10 donation for your last.
Okay, so you can make one single donation.
Yeah, so if you go on our link tree, there is a donation thing there. You can donate. I actually thought she subscribed to the Patreon during the podcast. I called her up for thank you for joining the Patreon.
Well, hey, whatever you
but
want.
it was just a donation,
Yeah,
so I wanted to.
that's
I want
fine.
to. If people do donate, I get alerts on my phone. We're not fancy like the other streams where it pops up on there, but I will read it off if one comes in while we're going. Let's get into our. Well, first off, I'm here. Kelly, Brian, Jeff is returning once again this week because he's a huge Bob Backlund fan, so he's going to hang out with us and always with us.
The first time ever 2 words have been said.
Yeah.
He's gonna put you in the crossface chicken wing before the night's over.
The chicken wongan.
You're gonna go into
The
that
chicken
match with
wongan.
Fox Vineyard with a broken AC joint.
Yeah, you're gonna get a run in. Bob's gonna run in on you. You're not winning the title.
Bob?
Backlund.
But you just say Bob. I would never ever think Bob Backlund.
Mr. Backlund.
Yeah, you got
Mr.
to say
Mr. Bob
or Bob
Backlund.
Backlund.
Yeah.
That'd be like if I said, "Hey, Hunter's coming for you." You know, it's like, do you immediately think Triple H?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would
actually,
just because how
yeah.
much how much.
What if I
of an-
said John's coming for you?
Okay, that's different.
Yeah,
That's
that's
different.
different.
Yeah.
Because John's a pretty generic name. Sorry, people who are named John. I had an ex.
It's
named
a
John,
basic
so
name.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
basic
basic-
name.
And it's always Ugly John. That was a joke that we made. Ugly John.
My
it
John wasn't ugly.
It
so.
was a TikTok where people like, why is it got to be Ugly John? I just said
Oh,
about the if a hot guy hits on you at your job.
Remember that?
It's
Yeah, we
not
said it
sexual
during-
harassment, but if Ugly
I remember
John
that,
says
yeah.
something, yeah. And someone said, why is it got to be Ugly John? I said it's always Ugly John.
It was like Bald Bob or something.
Yeah,
Well, it was Ugly Joe.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Ugly kid joke.
Yeah,
and then also with us, Serious Business, Andy had it
Mhm.
going for his 2-time WYLN championship this weekend at PPW.
would be the second time.
Would be the
Yes.
second time.
All the pizza shop owners in Hazleton are hoping
Yeah,
for
that-
some change.
That
It's
local,
been bad business ever since Fox Jr. won that title.
that
yeah.
cooking show, that cartoon that I have never seen.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever actually came on.
Brian, let's go into our first news topic.
News that broke a few days ago here. MLW, Major League Wrestling, is suing WWE, alleging that they are engaging in, quote, ongoing attempts to undermine competition and monopolize the professional wrestling market by interfering with MLW's contracts and business prospects.
I mean,
Now, are they doing that? Yes, they've
Yeah.
been doing that to everybody for 40 years.
Yeah, but I could see they can argue and say we're not monopolizing. AW exists, Impact exists. So
What they're pointing to with this is that MLW, and this came out a few months ago, you would start hearing that MLW was announcing a deal soon with somebody. It's like the deal is imminent. You're going to hear about it any day now, and it never happened. And the deal apparently was with Tubi TV. They were going to have a streaming deal with Tubi TV, which is like Pluto TV. It's one of those like free streaming things. And Tubi TV is owned by Fox. And Fox was apparently unhappy that all the network specials and everything got moved to Peacock. And WWE was like, well, you could have bid. You have Tubi TV. And now you're putting another wrestling thing on Tubi TV. And then Fox wound up at the very last minute pulling out of the deal with MLW. And they're saying that that WWE strong-armed Fox into not bringing in MLW. And that's I don't think that's the only thing in their lawsuit, but that's the big thing. And
I just don't understand why not everyone make a fucking YouTube account. YouTube will pay you for your views. Bang, there's your TV network.
well,
I mean, they
NWA tried that. They didn't make a lot of money.
yeah,
It's better than zero.
Not much better than
If you already have cameras in your building,
I mean, they
just fucking put it online.
They do have TV. They're on like BN Sport. I think they are on
Yeah.
YouTube, but this was going to be a new deal that would monetize that.
More people watch your clips on YouTube than they do fucking broadcast television.
That's true.
yeah, but I don't know if they get any money.
Yeah, I don't know how much money they're making off of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good way to get started. You know how many fucking TV shows started because
Yeah,
people
I mean,
they got
MLW
popular on
was
YouTube.
On YouTube, like
Yeah.
a week or two later,
Yeah.
it'll be on.
It's
Comes
just
up
I don't know.
sometimes. They're stuck in a position where there's just so much wrestling, like
Yeah.
people can't make time.
A-
I
and-
don't have time for that.
And here's the other thing. Does WWE do that? 100%. They have
Yeah.
for a long time. Good luck beating them in court.
Yeah,
They're gonna win litigation by attrition. In the United States, it's not who is right, it's who has the most money to afford the best lawyers, and that is WWE.
And drag it out.
True.
Maybe they know they're going to lose, but the publicity, any publicity is good publicity.
but you know, it's like
It's sad.
if
But
even
they've
if they-
actually gotten bad publicity because Joey Janela came out on Twitter and he's like, I hope WWE wins the lawsuit because he hates MLW. He's like, MLW, they lowball young guys who are looking for exposure. They exploit them. And now they're adding like no GCW to their contracts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's another side to the story.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're upset because the big guy's holding you back, but you're holding back GCW talent.
Yeah.
Another thing that doesn't look great for them in this whole thing isn't like the head guy of GCW a former WWE writer who left on
No,
bad terms?
that's MLW.
MLW. That's what I meant, yeah.
Well, he did MLW before that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was his first thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Court Bauer is the head of MLW. He started with MLW. MLW was around back in like 2002, 2003. They closed up shop. He became a writer. He was mainly the head writer of Velocity for a while when they would have like really good matches, and then they fired him. He got into podcasting with
Yeah.
MLW Radio, and then just brought back the company.
Yeah, and because they were a podcast, and they just kind of said, "Hey,
Yeah.
maybe bring it back." And then they did a one-shot show, and then they brought it back. But like,
Yeah.
even if they were
That
on
was-
Tubi, they wouldn't hurt WWE.
No.
They could be on Tubi every
Yeah.
single day.
That's
I-
where Tony Schiavone made his first appearance back
Yeah.
in wrestling.
Yeah,
And,
I say
Bruce Pritchard.
ew. I hope your wrestling does well, but it's gonna be tough sledding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck beating WWE in court.
That's like going
The
out
federal
and
government couldn't do it.
yelling at the mountain to move. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Like if anybody can beat the WWE in court, it should be over that independent contractor bullshit.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
you really want to
And
get them.
what was that guy, the senator or whatever that was?
Andrew Yang.
Yeah, remember
He's a dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he didn't really go anywhere with it.
Well,
he was using that as a platform to possibly get a
Yeah,
chair
yeah,
seat.
he was angling to become the Secretary of Labor, and it didn't happen. And then he ran for mayor of New York, and he lost that too.
Yeah, and which if you're losing that, Jesus Christ.
He's like, and he got so mad he left the Democratic Party.
I'll show them.
Yep, he did. He won. Our next Peter news.
More breaking news today. It came out on TMZ that WWE Hall of Famer Tammy Sunny Sitch was arrested on 3 charges in Keensburg, New Jersey. She was on a 2 third-degree weapons charges, 1 fourth-degree charge of making terroristic threats. If convicted on all 3 counts, she faces a possibility of up to 11 years in prison. Probably won't be nearly that bad.
No.
When you hear terroristic threats and weapons, it's probably, and this is just pure speculation on my part, there was a domestic dispute and she may have pulled a knife on somebody, or I think I read somewhere it wasn't a gun. She might have pulled like some kind of weapon on somebody, and it sounds like it was a situation that got out of hand and police got involved, and now there's problems.
Yeah, I don't. I know her track record's not amazing, and there's a lot of people who absolutely hate her and say she's the worst ever. Put all that aside, in the wrestling business, she did have ability. She did have talent. She was good on a mic. She was a great manager. And it's one of those situations where before they passed away, people were like, hey, they were good people, but hey, they had their demons type deal. And now we're trying to give them their roses and it's too late. I hope she gets the help she needs. If maybe going behind jail again is a wake up call,
Yeah,
or
she was in there for 8 months before this. So
No,
you hope. You never know. Like
8 months and possible 11 years can
Maybe the
really.
second time around will be better.
fifth,
That's
sixth time
fifth,
around.
sixth,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So she was in what, Cumberland County?
Yeah,
She was a
Yeah.
carbon for a little bit.
she
Not
was
too far
living
from
it
here.
right outside of Jim Thorpe for a little bit there, wasn't she?
Yeah. And then she went back to Jersey. But I mean, yeah,
Why?
Because she probably, honestly, I mean, this is just speculation, but she probably has people in her life that are not good for her, and she probably
Yeah.
keeps going back to them,
Yeah.
and she's probably getting in trouble because of it. You know, it's easy for people to be like, we'll just get out of that situation. But when you grow roots, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like,
Or if you're attached to somebody in that situation,
Yeah.
in that bad situation, and you want to try and help them too, you get drugged down too.
Yeah.
Just because she's famous, it doesn't discriminate. against
yeah, and
famous
this
people.
isn't me saying giving her a pass for everything she's ever done, but
right.
at the end of the day, she's still human, and if she were to turn around and die, or for some crazy reason, or something horrible happens to her, we would be talking. People would they would do a dark side of the ring. They would say how great of a manager she was, and everybody would be her biggest fan again.
Oh, there's absolutely got to be a dark side of it if there hasn't been already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised there hasn't been.
Yeah. Season 4 would it be?
Yeah, you could put her with Chris Candido, and because that's a tragic story. That's a
Mhm.
very tragic story.
yeah, and I mean, maybe they're. I mean, I'm speaking for her, or maybe giving her benefit of the doubt here, but maybe there's that whole thing still weighs on her, and it's tough to fucking live with yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, what? There's nothing she did, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
but I mean, I don't know. Kind of, if they're in a relationship and she's going around with
wasn't-
other people.
no. What happened with Chris Candido was he was wrestling for Impact for TNA,
Mhm.
and he was in a match, and he hurt his leg in the match, and he had a blood clot. and then he got on a plane, and the blood clot went to his heart or went to his lungs or something.
I'm saying more or less that they were in a relationship, and she was also in other relationships, and he probably knew, and he was the joke of every locker room when he was in.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point he was pretty.
much.
At that point he was pretty respected in the Impact locker room.
Yeah, I'm saying respected.
Look, if anybody in wrestling is to blame for Chris Candido's mental state, it is not Tammy. It is the guy whose shorts you're wearing right now.
Yeah,
things happen. Yeah,
How quickly the tide turned there.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. He hates him. He hates him some Shawn Michaels.
He was a good wrestler.
Shawn Michaels is a great wrestler and not a great person.
Yeah.
Chris Candido was a great wrestler.
Up until he was
good
released,
person.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, until he found God. He changed his life. Hopefully, give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but even that, but God didn't help him out in that tag match.
Definitely did.
Where did he find God?
Probably Texas. That's where everyone.
Yeah.
Like in a Macy's or
Yeah. Usually when people hit the very,
he found God the way a lot of guys find God. He married a religious woman.
Yeah.
That's how he found God.
And or you hit bottom and you're like, there's nothing better. And then once you're already at the bottom, and then you're like, you find God, and then everything gets better. And you're like, oh, that's what it was. People need a mental state to help them turn it around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then whatever they attach it to, good for them. If it makes them better,
absolutely.
If it has him on the right path, good for him.
Yeah.
I got some news. PCO, Mike and Maria all signed Impact deals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good for them.
I saw with PCOs, I don't know about Mike and Maria. I'm assuming this is the same thing where they are able to do indies, but
Our dear friend PC.
yes, our buddy PCO and our
Every time
soon-to-be buddies Mike and Maria.
Every time we meet somebody once, they're our best friends. Yeah.
That's
So
right.
they won't even remember our names next time, but they're our dear friends.
That's right.
All right. Next news.
Next bit of news. This was announced on SmackDown last week. A lot of names announced formally for the Women's Royal Rumble. They announced like 18 or 12 people at once.
It was 17, and then Charlotte said she was in
Yeah.
18, even though she has the title.
So you had so a lot of people from the current roster: Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Shotzi, Natalia, Shayna Baszler, a few others. And then you had some people not around all the time. You had the Bella Twins are going to be in the Rumble. Lita, Brie, sorry, I already said the Bella Twins. Michelle McCool, who had the most eliminations in the first Women's Royal Rumble somehow. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, wonder if that's the real name. When
Kelly will be in the Rumble.
Great.
Summer Rae will be in the Rumble. And yes, the reigning Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion, Mickie James, will be in the Rumble.
Yeah, that is. So at first
announced by Pat McAfee on the SmackDown as the Impact Wrestling, Knockouts champion.
And then they tweeted Impact World Champion. So there's definitely an agreement there that they're allowing that to be said. At first, when I seen it, I was like, what a fucking wasted opportunity. Because I guess for me, Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. I don't if WWE was an absolute train wreck to the point where
it is.
I mean, for me right now,
totally.
For me personally, it is. I don't even watch it on a weekly basis, but I will 100% tune in still to pay-per-views, and I will definitely turn into
the Royal Rumble itself.
Royal Rumble,
attractive just because of how
there's a good chance we're going to be on the road during the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, there's a very good chance. So the fact that you have these names and you just spoil it. As a Rumble fan, I'm like, man, it would have been cooler just to hear the music and see them come out. But I also get why they're doing it. Right now, they're doing a buy one, get one for free sale on tickets for the Royal Rumble. So they're not doing a great job packing the building out. So I guess them saying the Bella Twins.
Look who you can come see.
This name.
It's also, in their defense, it is a big building. They run baseball stadiums now for the Rumble. So it's not like they're trying to pack.
And there's people still
10,000 seat
afraid
arena
of Corona. So,
which is understandable.
Yeah.
People are
big crowd.
Yeah. So, so I one hand, I get why they're doing it. The other hand, it would have been cooler just to, I mean, I'm not a Bella's fan, but if their music would have hit, I've been like, holy shit.
You just want to hear Brie mode.
Yeah.
That's all you want to hear.
Yeah. I mean,
I was just going to say who is after you said, I'm not a Bella's fan.
Yeah. I mean, there is.
If their music hit, I would go, oh.
You, but obviously they have a huge women's fan base.
I'm sure, yeah, but like
enough to have that.
Here, not me.
I mean,
if you're a woman that knows what good wrestling
who's your favorite wrestler right now?
Britt Baker.
Where's your TV show?
Who cares?
That's it.
I wouldn't watch that fucking show.
You don't watch it, but a lot of people did.
There are people.
I did watch it.
What does that have to do with wrestling?
They're
But I watched it
popular.
for Nat.
They're so when their music hits, those people who watch Total Divas,
it doesn't make them good.
It makes a huge difference.
It doesn't make them good in the ring.
It doesn't. But I'm saying you're saying who cares are there, and I'm telling you there is a lot.
It brings eyes to the product.
Exactly.
Yeah, that are already on the product.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
Now that
no.
people are saying the Bellas are there,
No.
people.
I had girlfriends that didn't watch wrestling, and the only way they started watching wrestling is because they watched Total
Maybe.
It
Divas.
was actually a gateway, and that is one of
Yeah.
the reasons why in the demos, like the one demo that WWE really does kill AEW in is women.
But wouldn't you like if you just watch that and you're like, oh, wrestling, but that's still stupid. I don't care.
But
Like-
WWE is
But
wrestling
that's
for
what
people.
you're pulling in right now. I mean, that's what it's pulling in, and it doesn't
you
matter.
know this. WWE is wrestling for people who don't really care about
Yeah,
wrestling. That's what
Correct,
WWE
correct.
is.
So, like,
Correct.
If you care about wrestling, you're going to watch AEW.
I would think that most women watch that show and then they'd say watch wrestling. I'm like, hell no.
Well,
That's what I would
some
think.
of them do.
What
Some of them do.
for Heidi,
but
she
they'll
had-
watch
she
it
had a
just for
hard
those
time.
segments and then be done.
For Heidi, she had a hard time watching it week to week. Like wrestling was not
Yeah.
her thing. She would watch it, but it was like she wasn't gravitated to it. But she loved the Diva show. Like
The
she
reality show.
enjoyed it. She liked it.
But that's
She thought it was legit too, and I
but
had
that
to
didn't
break
make
it
her
to her.
watch wrestling though.
It got her at least. It was a gateway for her.
But she didn't. She wasn't like, I'm going to watch Raw and SmackDown.
She attached her when she was watching it with me.
Yeah.
She attached herself to more characters
I can
because
see
of the
that,
show.
But you know,
Yeah.
like overall, I don't think it has that much.
See, I was the other way around. I watched the show because I watched the product. I watched
Yeah.
WWE at the time. So I'm like, oh, let me go see what this is about,
Mhm.
which I can't stand the Bellas, but I did enjoy seeing Cena. I did enjoy seeing Trinity and John. They were my two favorites. I
Mhm.
loved
Same with Heidi.
watching John. So I
I
thought
could
he was
not.
hilarious.
I don't mind the Bellas. We have similar allegiances.
I got about 10 seconds. I said, I can't fucking stand this.
Yeah. I mean, you're not a reality TV guy
No.
at all.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna hopefully draw some eyes. Lita's gonna draw some eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see what people are gonna be like, wow, obviously Mickey James being there is people are talking about
Like
it.
Kelly, like she comes in every Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's this problem? Oh,
the
she
thing
was
is,
in
too,
all of them so far.
They don't have 30 women on the roster.
they
they
don't,
need bodies.
'cause they
They
fired a
need
bunch.
bodies.
I'm
It's-
looking forward to Summer Rae. Thank you.
We
and-
heard
She
very
was on
good
the
things
first
about
season of
Summer Rae.
Bellas or
Yeah.
the Total Divas too. Some thing got kicked off.
the other interesting thing here is, I guess WB. There's rumors or things going out that there's another Forbidden Door name that's going to enter the men's Rumble. And
Possibly. They're saying
Possibly.
I don't see it.
the Wrestle Votes, which is a Twitter account that has broken some news before, they said they don't see it happening, but there is something a Forbidden Door men's entry being discussed that could happen, but they don't see it.
I
as
mean,
being
I'm sure they
possible.
always say, "What if we had this guy?" But then they never do it.
Maybe
And-
it's a hologram of a wrestler
Yeah.
from the past.
the Ghost of Andre.
It's the
Yeah,
Paul
that's
Bear
exactly-
hologram
Yeah.
from when the Undertaker retired.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some people in the chat. Ronnie S says, "Hey guys, checking out the show. Great wrestling chat. Ronnie hung out with me on a Banging Beers live stream. I went and joined a beer podcast on their live stream,
Mhm.
and Ronnie was one of the guys. And then after the stream ended, we did a Banging Beers live stream, which kind of sparked me to do more live streams coming up with all the channels. So maybe when Raw's on live or something, if I'm
Mhm.
not busy, I will make a live stream and just kind of watch it. Obviously, I can't show you what I'm watching.
Yeah, but,
But
you
we
show
can-
you
We could
watching.
hang out and do that stuff. But Ronnie's a good guy, so go show him some support. My wife enjoyed watching Total Divas. She also liked watching wrestling with me more than that show was around. She's not interested in wrestling now. Also, Total Divas isn't a thing anymore. So
Yeah.
sometimes, and those reality shows,
Is Total Bella still a thing? I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't. I
so.
think that finally kicked the bucket too.
It's just
It'll be a little
Miz and
awkward
Reese,
now
right?
that one of their husbands is wrestling for a
Yeah,
competitor. Yeah,
we
it'll be a
can't
little
talk
it's,
about
awkward.
it.
it's Miz and Maurice
Miz and
there,
Maurice, yeah.
and it's also Roads to the Top too.
Oh,
oof, I'd rather watch Miz and
Oh.
Maurice.
That was rough. Yeah, Roads to the Top was rough.
that came on after AEW.
Yeah, I
and I was like,
tried.
I didn't even make it 1 minute.
I thought
I
Miz and
tried.
Maurice was entertaining, but you can definitely tell there was 0% chance any of it was real.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
it-
yes, Dan.
Like
Well,
it's
that's
not even
most,
it's
you
not
know.
even close to even being like
As Lance Storm once said, reality TV is the only thing faker than pro wrestling.
it really is.
It truly
And
is.
comic
Tell them
book,
is
That-
that.
and
that's a
comic
good-
book movies.
That's a
And
good
comic book
quote.
movies.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, the big signing, not signing, but big Forbidden Door thing is a rumor. I wouldn't put much stock into it.
No.
But here's my question for the chat, and here's my question for you at the table. How far where do you think Mickey comes in the Rumble? And if she does come in, do you think she makes, no pun intended, an impact and show and is
Define an impact.
and booked strong? Like, does she make the final five?
No.
Does she
No.
get some eliminations? Does she
Maybe-
have
she
big
might throw
moments?
one or two people
Yeah,
out.
maybe one or two.
Or is she in and out
could throw
within
like a Kelly
15
Kelly
minutes?
Like a bushwhacker.
Oh, she in out in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You think
I
so?
don't think she'll make
Yeah.
10 minutes.
I don't know.
They're not going to have many people that last longer than 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, especially
And they're going to be people that they want to push long term.
Yeah, if anyone lasts long, it would be like Raquel.
They're
something like
not.
that.
They're not bringing in Mickey James out of the goodness of their heart or to help Impact. They're doing it because they need somebody
Yeah.
for the match and think people will be interested.
And they don't give a shit if that she's an Impact champion. That
They-
don't matter at all. They want her because she's Mickey James.
Right.
Mhm.
That's what, and because she was there before.
Right.
Like if Deanna
I mean,
Purrazzo had the title, they wouldn't care
If that's the case, then why fire her the way they did and she's a 7-time champion?
because they're assholes.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's
Now they
WWE,
need her.
That's why.
They didn't need her then. Now they need her now.
So
So
I
it's
would,
like,
if I was her, like, why the fuck would I even show up?
I wouldn't, but
I don't know.
hopefully she's getting a good payday.
I don't see Mickey as someone who's not smart, and I also don't see Mickey as someone who is gullible. So
I see Mickey as
feel
somebody
like
who doesn't want to burn a bridge, and this is a company that
Correct.
has a lot of pull
And
still.
maybe she wants to do something good for Impact. If they are advertising, maybe that was her stipulation. You have to advertise me as the Knockouts champion, as Impact Knockouts.
Yeah,
champion.
That's a
She's
good
trying,
point. That's
she's
a big
trying.
deal.
But I would if I'm saying that you're gonna, I said also like I'm not a fucking in and out person either. Like
or it could be, hey, if NWA goes belly up, maybe my husband will get a job there, so I want to keep relations good.
Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just can't see her coming in and getting chucked out by like a scrub. Like someone big has to eliminate me.
I could see this happening. What do I think will happen? And obviously none of this is going to be completely accurate. She's going to come in around like number 6. She's going to throw out Summer Rae, and then she's going to get thrown out by Rhea Ripley,
Yeah,
last
established
about-
WWE person.
and she'll last for about 6 minutes,
Mhm.
and that's what you're going to
10
get.
tops, absolute tops.
I give her final 10.
Okay, but
Well,
if she
final
comes in like
10,
if
I
she
mean,
comes in like
but that's from 20
I'll say final 8.
all right, if you come in if you're drawing a late number, you're almost final 8 by default.
I don't think she draws a late number. I think she's a mid pack.
I think she's in the final 5.
I don't see
Just
it.
because she's going in as a champion, she's being introduced with a belt as well.
but they don't.
I would
care.
agree
They
with-
do not care about.
Yeah,
I would
give
agree
a
with
shit.
that
It's
as
like
well.
when Taz was
It would be
ECW
not. It
champion
would
and
be
came in and
super
got beat
nice
by
for
Triple
what
H.
Jeff is
Mhm.
saying. It would be nice. It would be nice for WWE. to put their
WWE is
first-
not nice.
No,
they are
they're-
not
put
nice.
their foot forward and do that, but no.
That belt is below the 24/7 title.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my take. I see how people in the chat think here. Steve Fulton says it's all real to me. Damn it.
Good one, Steve.
Total Divas and Total Bellas were okay, but I can't be bothered with Miz and Mauricio. That's very fair. I'd love to see the Rumble start with her and Bailey, number 1 and 2. I think Bailey's later in this show.
I would say Bailey for 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30s. If you have somebody come in and it's a big surprise, you
Are the 29 spot, and
Yeah.
the 30s like Charlotte.
Yeah.
She's been cleared, right?
No one knows.
Nobody
She's
knows.
staying real quiet with that.
Here's what I would do.
think-
Oh, here's a moment. Here's your moment
Mhm.
where Mickey can get a little bit of like a shine, or she has a moment and even gets eliminated by her because she can get the person's book strong. Her and Asuka have a face off because they had a little when Mickey James came back to the company,
Mhm.
she challenged Asuka, and it was a good rivalry, and
Yeah,
people
that's
like
right.
it.
That was their first match because they wanted to be Mickey and Trish, but Trish was pregnant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Mickey's the only woman that's competed for every title.
They don't care about that.
Yeah,
They really don't care
That
about that
don't,
stuff.
nobody
Um,
there even knows that.
I enjoy it.
Do you think Vince
yeah.
knows that Mickey is the only person competed for every title? Do you really think Vince McMahon
No, I
knows
don't.
that? I can guarantee
I
he
bet
does.
you
But
Bruce
I think
does
a
that.
writer does. That's why he booked it that way.
Whatever. They don't care.
You know who knows it? The guy that does the title history for the
Yeah.
website.
You know, if they're gonna have Mickey face off with anybody like that, I would guess maybe Michelle McCool because of that whole Piggy James thing
Oh,
they did
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Trish is going to be in it. I mean, she
Yeah, I
might,
doubt it.
But I don't.
Who knows?
But even so, with Trish already came back. It's like all these people already were in the.
If you're gonna
roster.
announce Lita, and Trish is your surprise.
Who's your like out of left field like Jillian Hall was last year? Who,
Oh,
who
yeah.
could you bring in?
That's still wrestling.
Karma.
I don't. Yeah, but she
She just retired.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there you
maybe
go.
she-
No
I
one's
mean-
expecting
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you could come in and
Yeah.
get thrown out. It doesn't take much.
I'm trying to think of people who haven't been. Ivory is Ivory still
Oh yeah,
around?
because Ivory can still go. Victoria. She
I think
was
you're
back
gonna see.
last
I think you're gonna
Yeah.
see a lot of NXT. Maybe
Yeah, you'll get like
2.0
Cora
people.
Jade, Mandy, and her people.
About Jacqueline.
Jacqueline could be around. She's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but yeah, she can still. Yeah, you can. I mean, she
I'd
got in the ring
personally,
and-
I'd personally bring up more 2.0 people than I would bring in like
I
legends.
think I think you could definitely see Raquel Gonzalez getting like a diesel push.
Yeah,
And we can kind of save some of that, I guess, for the next episode because our next episode is gonna, or the one after, will be,
We'll
the
be
one,
more
like, right before the
focused on Rumble. That's a good
Yeah.
call. Let's not burn ourselves out here. All right. Next.
Speaking of big events in late January, BOLA, PWG's Battle of Los Angeles. The field has been announced for the biggest indie tournament of the year, which are
Usually
opening
two
round
nights, right?
2 or 3.
Yeah,
I think it's 2. I think it's 2, and I think they're both sold out. And because they don't do streaming, because there's so many people that are like AW contracts and things like that, it's only DVD. They charge an exorbitant amount for ticket prices. I think ticket prices are like $100 for ringside.
Yeah.
And also because back in the day when they were in Reseda, I don't know if it's still this way, you were lucky to get tickets, and like Rhonda would be there and all these other people would be there.
They were the
Sofia Vergara was
they
there
would
one
immediately
time.
sell out all the time.
Topanga from Boy Meets World, Danielle Official, she was always there.
Yeah.
Because her husband's a wrestling fan.
That's a favorite of mine.
Topanga.
Topanga.
Yeah.
So the opening round matches, it's a 16-man tournament. It's Aramis against Ray Horace, Kevin Blackwood against Daniel Garcia, who just wrestled in the main event of Dynamite.
Kid's a star, man.
Jack Cartwheel against Leo Rush. You have JD Drake against Black Taurus. Alex Shelley, the reigning IWTV World Champion, against a former IWTV Champion, Lee Moriarty. Here's the one. Oh, this one. Jonathan Gresham against Davey Richards.
That's gonna be crazy.
One of the all-timers in ROH against the current ROH champion. One of the current ROH champions, the original ROH champion, I guess they're calling him. Jonah, formerly Jonah Rock. We met him at PPW. In the
Dear
last
friend.
show.
Bronson Reed.
Our dear friend Jonah, formerly Bob.
dear friend Davey Richards as well.
Yes. Against
we met him once.
Against our dear friend Buddy Matthews.
Yes.
Formerly Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
And then 2 people we aren't friends with. Bandito against Speedball Mike Bailey, coming back from a big exile because he's Canadian. He had a lot of visa problems, but he was like a huge indie star
Yeah.
for a while.
That's a hell of a name too.
Speedball.
Speedball.
The same thing.
No Coke references.
Yeah,
please.
it reminds me of back in the day there was Rollerball.
Well, that's exactly what I thought.
Rocco. Rollerball Mark Rocco was a big star in
Any
like
other
light heavyweight.
Any other news?
One last thing, and just a little tiny thing: the Jericho Cruise, which I think was supposed to be in like March or April. It was supposed to be in March. Now officially postponed until I believe February 2023. Omicron is shutting down cruise ships left and right.
Yeah. So it's not
Just
so
not
much
sporting events. So
Jericho's.
where the
Yeah.
most people are going.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be stuck on a cruise ship if
Yeah.
it breaks out, and
Yeah.
then you're like quarantined and stuck
Yeah,
in your
when-
little cubby hole
yeah, when this
room.
this
Just do
when
what
this
everybody
thing-
else does. Just pretend it's not a real thing and just keep pushing.
Plus, there's shuffleboard on the cruise.
Yeah.
Well, when when the outbreak or the pandemic first happened, 50 million years ago, it seems now, there was the one cruise that had an outbreak, and those people were stuck on that ship for like 2 months.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
I had a
you were
relative
stuck
on
in your
one.
room, I believe, too. You weren't
Yeah.
allowed like get out and play. Like
Once again, that's
told
when
me thing
that's
on
when it
the
was
boat.
taken serious. And
Yeah.
the CDC
Yeah.
just recently was just like, yeah, we quit. We're done.
Yeah.
We don't care anymore. It is what it is. Do what you got to do.
Be a good American and do what your boss tells you.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, go back to work, even if you're sick.
Bring it to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get this really going.
It's like when they used to have chickenpox parties for kids.
That's what it is. We're just gonna have COVID parties. They've tried those. Didn't work out too well for a lot of people.
Yeah.
COVID parties. Yeah. So let's get to the PWI awards. I'm gonna go through this really fast, just because it is very entertaining to see who else was nominated. And the first page already, I'm fucking laughing.
the percentage is like, come on.
Yeah. So,
Shenanigans. I'm gonna say it right off the bat. I with all due respect to PWI, I know this. I'm pretty sure this used to be a case. I don't know who's running the magazine now. I don't think they're really counting actual votes. I think they just made it up.
Yeah, because I've
think
never
it's a
seen
word.
any ballot
Yeah.
or like
Like,
people
who
sharing
asked
on
us?
Facebook.
well,
Where's
here's a
our
question.
ballots?
Here's a question. That too. And also, if this is a voting thing, how many people do you think that are legit WWE fans current day?
Yeah.
Are even
Yeah,
aware of PWI or are
That's true.
You're not getting a representative sample of the wrestling fandom.
Exactly.
as a whole.
where I feel like AEW is saying, like, as soon as it came out, they're like, thank you to PWI. Like, they said
Yeah.
it 4 times on
Yeah,
their show.
WWE never would talk about it.
Exactly.
Not only that,
They
like
had their own magazine.
the bad blood
not?
with WWE and PWI runs back to the 80s.
Yeah.
Like when for a while in the mid 80s, they didn't let when they were trying to get WWF magazine off the ground, they didn't let Bill Apter take pictures at ringside. They wouldn't credential PWI to do photos, and because of that, PWI was like, well, we no longer consider, and this is when WWF is the hottest wrestling company in the history of all wrestling. Like, we don't consider their title a world title. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they changed
Hulk
it in
Hogan's not really
magazine
a
to
world-
just champion.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan's not really a world champion, but AWA champion Otto Vaughn, well, he was actually from Austria, but
Checks out.
yeah, but Rick Martel is a real world champion. Hulk Hogan is not.
That's
Who do
great.
we say rookie of the year?
We had a tie for Rookie of the Year
Was it
between
Hook and
Braun Breaker and Hook.
All right. Well, Jade Cargill wins Rookie of the Year. I think
You
we
know,
forgot
we gotta
she
s-
debuted this year. I think I
Did
thought
she?
I thought she
Actually,
debuted
wait a
last
minute.
year.
Hey,
We can break that tie. Jeff, who was the Rookie of the Year
Yeah.
last year? Braun Breaker or Hook?
That's pretty tough, but probably Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
We have a winner. Braun Breaker is the Rookie of the Year.
The only
Um,
thing with this magazine was this had been done a little bit sooner because it has to go to print
Yeah.
first. So
Yeah.
it came out.
But I
this
feel
month.
like I
It
feel
was
like
probably
she
finished
didn't.
last month.
I thought she's been around for a year, longer than
I
just a
think
year.
wasn't her first match that match with Shaq? Was that this year? Or was that the year before?
that was probably early January
But how long
2021,
ago
and I
was
just forgot
the
about
was
it.
the thing she was doing with Brandy, and then she did the whole thing with.
Well, it was around the time Brandy left because she was pregnant. Because Brandy was supposed to be in that match, and then Red Velvet went in. I think that was 20.
No,
20.
no, it wasn't, because if
Was
you
it
think
early?
about it, they announced their pregnancy at Winter is Coming, I think, of 2020.
Okay.
And then she was supposed to be in with the match with Jade, and she
Yeah.
smacked Jade and came out and said, she done her promo stuff,
Right.
Yeah, that's for
Same
me
line.
personally. The reason I didn't say Jade is
No,
I
I
thought she
think
was
I'm
already
right
out
with
for
that.
a year.
I would have put Braun Breaker or Hook ahead of Jade.
Well,
because they
Braun
made it like
Breaker.
a Christmas time announcement that,
I would have
Oh,
put
that they,
Drew,
they opened an ornament there, and it was baby shoe ornament or
Yeah.
whatever.
Dewdrop would have been probably my
Not a
pick
rookie
this
though.
week.
She's been rookie as far as like US, but she's been in NXT UK for a while.
Yeah.
And
So
she was Viper before
Oh, is
then.
she English?
She's
Dewdrop.
Scottish.
Oh, is she?
yeah,
Got it.
Braun Breaker is 28%. Number 2. This one's fucking stupid. Bad Bunny 20%,
Yeah,
One
that-
match.
I wouldn't consider he wrestled one match.
and Brock Anderson 6%.
I
and
will
he
say
didn't
this.
stay as a wrestler. It's like the rookie should be someone who stays.
That's a throwback because I remember one year
Wheeler Yuta and fucking
well,
Daniel Garcia should have been ahead of both
well,
of these.
not
they're-
rookies.
they're not rookies.
And on TV.
That's not what they're saying. They're not
Yeah.
rookie in a big company of the year.
Yeah.
But I remember, I think it would have been like 95, 96. They had Lawrence Taylor
Okay, that match
was like second or third place for rookie of the year.
was March 3rd, 2021.
Okay,
It
so that
was?
was, yeah.
Okay.
With
So
Shaq.
she
and-
was-
I'm just gonna try to fly through these because I don't want to run too late. Most improved wrestler, the winner, Britt Baker. I agree. I think every year she does get better.
I think she was the most improved wrestler last year.
yeah,
yeah,
I think they're a year late.
yeah.
yeah. We said it was
I think we had that award.
I don't think we had a most improved. Bobby Lashley, number 2, tied with Trevor Murdoch at 12%, and Dina Perrazzo at number 10. I don't mind Dina Perrazzo, but it's hard to. I don't know. Yeah, every year I think Britt Baker just keeps raising her bar.
I think we,
we
did
did
it
have
as a
most
character.
improved, and I picked Miro.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh yeah. Comeback of the year, CM Punk. I think
Who the hell voted for Christian over CM Punk? Come on now. He got 13% of vote. No, he didn't.
Sting
Nothing against
15.
Josh. I
Jeff
like
is
Christian.
raising his hand here, Andy. Direct your anger
think
toward
Christian-
Jeff.
There's no
I'll
one in the world.
I'll go with Christian.
Nobody in the
That's an
world
easy
thought
one.
his return was better than CM Punk.
Yeah,
Come on.
Sting, Christian Cage, and Becky Lynch.
All good returns, but
Mhm.
guy doesn't wrestle for 7 years. He's a main eventer and comes back. Come on.
Yeah, inspirational wrestler of
He
the
didn't
year.
miss a beat
Edge.
either.
Edge is the winner
Yeah,
there.
I could give that. We didn't have that
Yeah.
award.
Bianca Belair, number 7 at 17%. Big E 10%, and Mickey James at 10%. Yeah, I Bianca Belair and Big E are both would be ones I would consider, but it's hard to once again give it not give it to Edge. Most popular wrestler year, 25% votes. 25 go to CM Punk.
Wait a minute. That means it's even.
Well, no, 25
Oh, yeah,
out of
wait, okay,
everybody
okay, okay.
altogether.
I was like,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Adam Page is going to be number 2, Big E number 3, number 4 Bianca Belair. The most hated wrestler of the year. MJ. Now this is considered your heel
Heel
or,
of the year.
or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I'm trying to pull up. I'm trying to pull up the results of our awards here.
yeah.
Well, that was Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
Roman
we
Reigns
hate the
got
Roman.
that.
Yeah,
As
no doubt about
Who
it.
was-
I
who
love
was the heel that people
MJF,
actually
but this is
like?
it was Roman Reigns' year for as a heel.
And we gave Brian Danielson most best male of the year.
Yeah. So heel of the year goes to MJF. Number 2 Roman Reigns. Number 3 Kenny Omega. Number 4 Baron Corbin.
Wait a second. Where's Nia Jax? People hate her.
Where
Yeah.
is my Jax?
Feud of the year. This is crazy.
We
to
didn't
me.
have that, did we?
We did.
We
I
did.
think,
It was
yeah.
Hangman and Kenny.
Hangman and
Okay.
Kenny. The winner is MJF and Chris Jericho because we all loved
That was awful.
that.
that was not good.
Yeah.
And the next is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Number 3 would be Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, and then Edge versus Roman Reigns.
I think we had what, Roman and Brock.
I thought Roman and Kevin Owens had really good fucking
What was the award you're talking about? Sorry.
the feud.
We had Hangman versus Kenny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see most improved. That might have been just. I think we did settle on Miro for that.
Okay.
Yeah. The independent wrestler of the year, Nick Gage.
Yeah,
I think we gave it to. Yeah, we
Avery
did.
Good
Yeah,
professional.
Yeah, we gave it to Avery Good.
Yeah.
Number 3, Trisha Dora, very well deserved.
That was our female.
And she won female of the year for us. Number 2, number 3 here actually was
Tony
very
Deppen.
close to up there with a lot of our awards. Tony Deppen and then Effie. I'm cool with that whole entire list. Honestly, Nick Gage is cool. With his comeback and everything he's been doing, I think when it comes to work rate, I would go Trish, Tony, and Effie
I
over.
would go everyone
Yeah.
in that magazine over.
Yeah.
Nick Gage.
Yeah,
If it was
Nick,
work rate.
Nick Gage is it's if you like that style and it's that cult
Exactly.
of personality. I understand the appeal, but as far as like actually bell to bell, like as a good wrestler, that's not him. That's not
Match
what
of
he's
the
trying to be either.
match of the year. We picked this one as well. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa.
But what was the percentage on that?
22%.
22%. And then next in line was one we talked about, which was the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros.
Yes.
Then it was Bianca Belair versus Sasha
Which
Banks.
is
No.
good, but that's nowhere.
No.
That's not even top 10.
That
It's
wasn't
the-
the best match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And then Walter versus Dragunov.
That is
was,
my match of the year.
Yeah. The only reason I mean Walter Dragunov was a great match. Young Bucks, Lucha Bros, great match. There was another one in there. The draws were good matches. Just besides the ending, I wasn't a fan of.
That might not have happened
Yeah.
prior to this
Yeah,
magazine
I was
coming
gonna
out.
say both of those draws probably didn't happen.
But for me, what this what the women's match did for just the women's division in AEW as a whole, what it did for Thunder Rosa, what it did for Britt Baker,
Mhm.
they weren't expecting that match to be.
Well, it's not the most surprising match of the year. It's the best match of the year.
But I'm saying it was that good of a match to be considered, and then everything
Yeah,
for me,
it
like
raises
that's
an argument.
yeah, that's what that faction of the year.
We didn't have this.
Faction of the year, and if it was, it was definitely not this team.
If we would have had that, I would have had Bloodline winning.
Bloodline all day long. The Inner Circle wins faction of the year, which sure, I mean I'm a Jericho fan, good for
No.
them.
They're not even
Um,
the best AEW faction of the year.
I can give a strong argument
Yeah, I would have said the elite probably.
with the
Yeah.
elite,
Yeah.
the elite and the Bloodline. I
Yeah,
think
if
would.
Kenny's your world champion for most of the year and the Bucks are your tag
Yeah,
champions for most of the year, the
that's
elite,
right.
is better than the Inner Circle.
Yeah. Bullet Club is the last one there. The tag team of the year, we got this one, the Young Bucks,
Yep.
then it was the Lucha Bros, the Usos, and the New Day.
Poor FTR.
I
Yeah.
know. My
I
God.
know.
Never mentioned.
Woman of the year,
We
Britt
got this one,
Baker,
yeah, of course.
Bianca Belair, Mickey James, Deanna Purrazzo. The Wrestler of the year, Kenny Omega, followed by Roman Reigns, Bianca Belair, and Big E. They actually put a paper out, a list of like who was the most active people working in WWE this year. Roman Reigns dominated. He worked a lot,
Mm-hmm.
so good for him.
That's it.
That's it. That's all we got.
They're fan awards.
Who's the sexiest? Who do you think the sexiest wrestler
Hook.
of 2021?
According to who?
Dewdrop.
Say their
Yeah,
name?
you're
Does
gonna
it say
ask
their
me. I'm
name?
gonna give a totally different answer than most people.
gonna-
I'm gonna give the answer that you just
gonna-
flipped by there,
I'm
Kenny Omega.
I'm gonna do some fan awards here. Unofficial awards. Man Bun of the Year.
Man bun of the year.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar
Oh,
wins
I
Man
said
Bun of the Year.
Wardlow.
His is not technically a man bun.
Who?
It's a ponytail.
Wardlow.
No. Brock.
No, Brock. Yeah, Brock. That is true.
Yeah. The Gomez and Matisha Award.
What?
Like the Adams
And
family.
the
Yeah.
Adams family.
Like, who's
the-
gothic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
gothic
That's fucking
couple.
stupid.
Dexter and Indy. Theme song of the year.
What? Fire that person.
Everyone picked Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's
Yeah.
Fozzy
Oh
song.
yeah.
Future
Judas.
World Champion Award.
Hook.
MJF they
Hook.
picked. Future Women's Champion.
Hook.
Taya
Dewdrop.
Conti. WWE's loss. AEW's gain award.
Everybody.
They picked Adam Cole. Sexiest wrestler of 2021.
Hook.
Kenny
Dewdrop.
Omega.
Jey Uso. I swear I'm
come
not.
on.
What?
Yeah, I
want my
swear.
money
Who
back.
was that? Naomi?
Yeah, I swear I'm not crying award.
I don't get that.
CM Punk. The return of CM Punk.
Oh, like it's such a.
I would
Yeah.
have guessed Ric
Yeah.
Flair.
These are bad.
Yeah, there's some really silly ones in there.
This segment's
But they're
problem.
funny.
Best night TV talk show. Ding dong hello. I just did that because Andy. I want to hear Andy grumble. All right, let's get into our
Has there
topic.
ever been a good one? Like, what's the good? Like,
There hasn't.
no.
What about my release? Not release.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So. Well,
We got in the chat while he's pulling it up. Omicron, the ultimate heel. Austin says Walter Dragunov also my match of the year.
Very good.
Lucha Bucks would be number 2 for me, but
Likewise.
completely respect Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa getting the nod. Yeah, same boat, bud.
all right. So they've been So I forget who it was, Ringside or Sportskeeda said about Marco Stunt not
Mhm.
getting re-signed, which is like, okay, you can kind of see it. And someone made the point. Well, if there's ever time to have him on TV, it was when the Jurassic Express won the tag titles, and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yep, Meltzer
So-
brought that up. Yeah.
He's probably gone. But I have a list
Well,
of people.
he's going through a singing career. He's going to be on The Voice now, apparently.
That's awesome. Good for him.
You know what? Go and sing.
Well, there was a
Go and sing.
there was a thing with the clusterfuck before the WrestleMania in New York where Becky Lynch won the title. So it was what, like 2019?
Mhm.
The lead singer of Wheatus was in the clusterfuck.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
he played, because Spider-Nate Webb was in it, and they played Teenage Dirtbag live, and it was him and Marco Stunt playing. And then MJF beat them up, and then I think it was MJF, may have been somebody else, and later the Wheatus guy threw them out. I think the guy from Wheatus might have thrown out MJF in
Oh,
that
that's funny.
clusterfuck.
Oh, we did have a new signing too.
For who?
Danhausen officially
Oh,
signed
yeah.
by A&W.
Yeah.
A&W.
His
yeah.
name- his-
Well, he
his-
didn't sign. They hired him.
they
Yeah,
hired
they
him.
He's-
Yeah.
He's gonna work for A&W.
So-
later.
For $100 a year, $100 annually.
Yeah, I forgot about that
Are
one.
they still hiring?
I
Probably.
might need to put one in myself.
There's one in School Haven.
Yeah.
Or Cressona, technically. Okay, so I have a list of people that I think could possibly go. There's a lot of them either they're not on TV at all,
Mhm.
or they never wrestle on TV.
Okay.
So that means they could appear, but they don't wrestle. So
And just for the
it
sake of
doesn't
this,
mean they're bad.
just for the sake of this argument, yeah, we're not saying these people suck. We're not saying we hope these people lose their job. We're saying with the landscape of AEW, do we think
they'll get re-signed.
they would get re-signed, or do they have a seat there? A lot of these people will probably say are talented in other aspects, are in the business, and will do just fine in the
Yeah.
indie scene. But this is I just want to be very clear. We're not just like rooting for people to not have
No.
jobs anymore.
If
So
the-
it's not
I'm
like
sh-
it's not like a death poll at a
Yeah.
an
No,
office.
Yeah.
Okay.
no.
But like
We're
when
not
you-
doing this to be ugly.
Speaking of that, I've been in death pools, and one person I always had on my list and has never died, obviously. Happy 81st birthday, Abdullah the Butcher.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
How
Yeah.
did he make it this?
We lost America's grandmother and dad in the same
Yeah.
like
And Abdullah
week.
the Butcher is still alive.
Yeah.
Don't tell Billy Graham that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Randy.
So either you say they'll get re-signed or they'll get let go. We'll start with the first one, the tag team, Private Party.
I say they stay.
Okay.
I say let go, but
What do you think will happen? Not what you want. Will happen.
Now, here's the thing. The only thing that with this one that's scary, they are still on TV. They still
Uh-huh.
did the thing with Matt Hardy, but they are clearly saying they're really going to rebrand Matt very, very soon. He's saying it's
Yeah.
time for a change.
Yeah, and he
He's
needs
throwing
help.
the deletes out there.
And who's gonna help him? I
Oh
wonder.
boy, I wonder who's
Yeah.
available soon.
my mind would say let them go, but I think Tony will keep them.
Yeah, I think they're a dark. I think they're good for dark. They're good for elevation. I still think they have some legs in the wheels. I think they're probably good backstage. I think they stay around.
So you're saying what we think they're going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they will tell them to go get some experience on the indies.
I agree with Brian. I
Yeah.
think they will not be re-signed. What do you say, Jeff?
I think they're staying.
And now here's another tag team. You probably forgot about them. Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Angelico.
I'd let them go.
Well, yeah, I know, but what do you think?
I think they let go.
Yeah, I think they're like
Is this across the board? where-
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think-
they're older than the private party. Can say, okay, they have potential. They're
Yeah.
still young. I think I would lean on that more if they had shown more improvement over the last 3
Yeah,
years.
and
They
they
really
didn't.
haven't.
Jack Evans can do crazy
Their
moves.
best, their best
oh, yeah,
match in
I do
AEW was still
enjoy
their
watching
first match.
Jack, but
Angelico was my favorite person in Lucha Underground. He was
Really? Wow.
awesome in there. He was so much fun. He was crazy.
And not in AEW.
Yeah.
And Jack Evans, he could do crazy moves, but that's literally it. Up next, I said his name before, Michael Nakazawa. Does he get re-signed?
Stays. He's buddies with the.
that's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
All
That
friends
he
wrestling, he
stays.
stays.
Or do they
He's
start?
not going anywhere.
I mean, you gotta free up some money sometimes. You gotta be like,
I don't think Michael Nakazawa
Yeah.
is making a ton of money.
probably not. No,
No.
making minimum wage.
I think he
don't-
stays for being the elite and to carry.
Now,
Kenny.
with that being said, I could see them maybe reevaluating their contract structure and telling some of these people, like,
Backstage person only or whatever.
not only that, but like, we're not going to re-sign you for we're going to re-sign you for a low guarantee.
Mhm.
Like, we'll guarantee you like some X amount a month. I'm just throwing a number out there. We're going to guarantee you $1,000 a month. If you're working dark, you'll make maybe 200. If you're working a dynamite, you're going to make this much.
Yeah,
I could see them reevaluating their deals
where
for
it's
lower end
almost
guys.
per diem.
Almost per diem with a very small downside,
Yeah.
not like a big WWE downside.
Because
But
the whole thing is like all these people they signed at a time when they couldn't get Johnny Gargano and Keith
Yeah.
Lee and Bryan Danielson. So now they can. So it's like,
Did you see people think because he's working out to wrestling music that he's coming back for the Rumble?
But not only that, but because
Yeah.
they put a new shirt out and it's like available for 2 weeks only.
why? Why? That's my question to people. Why would he do that? Unless he's an idiot.
Or unless they throw a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it gets a bunch
I mean,
of money.
if they throw
then I don't blame him.
if they throw a lot of money, go
Yeah.
for it. But
Okay, next guy. He hasn't been on TV a while since he got married, and then it went south, and he lost his tag partner, Kip Sabian.
He's been hurt, right?
I don't know.
I think he tore an ACL, but he might be back from that.
I think so, but he hasn't been on TV.
Yeah.
Penelope's still there.
Since he hasn't been on TV since they were in the quarantine where they're always at Daly's place.
Mhm.
So he hasn't been in a live crowd.
Yeah.
I don't think. I
And
could
he
be wrong.
hasn't gotten a good push since Havoc.
Yeah,
got
the only-
it too.
The one thing that stood out for me, I remember he did a really good job catching a guy once. It was doing a
Yeah.
stage dive at
He-
Daly's place.
He was also in the very first AEW match, him and Sammy Guerrero.
Future endeavored.
Keep. With
You
Penelope
think-
there, keep.
Well, you don't have to keep it.
No,
I
I,
know,
think,
but
I
I
think
think
they're going to let
Penelope
him
either.
go.
You know, they
Yeah.
keep Penelope either.
Yeah,
Keep. I think Penelope put herself in a different stratosphere in their eyes with that women's.
she
match.
did.
Yeah.
She did. He didn't. I said let him go. Well, I think I think he doesn't get resigned.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's one of those restructure things where he gets re-signed, but he's allowed to work dark and can go do indie
Not
appearances.
allowed to
and
work
stuff.
dark. I mean,
Well, I mean, that
dark.
might, yeah, I was going to say that might be an issue because of his status as far as not being in the U.S., but he's married to an American, so that's
Yeah.
not an issue.
Yeah.
anymore.
So here's one. The ultimate.
I would say they let him walk.
Yeah, I think he's they're gonna let him go. The ultimate. What's the word? Nepotism. Do they re-sign Luther?
no.
I would say probably yes because he's buddies with Jericho, but like he's not used at all.
He's only on Dark, and I looked at his record, and it's like I think 5 wins and 40 some losses. I think Tony Khan said, "Hey, we gave him 3 years of money. See you later."
Unless he's doing a lot backstage. unless
Yeah,
he's like a
which maybe.
producer. In ring, I don't think they keep him around.
No.
Yeah.
Not only did we did that, but also Chris Jericho is not as important in AEW as he was 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Not by a long shot. Chris Jericho is now expendable.
Yeah, because they are established now.
Mhm.
So
Very important to be getting less important now.
I can't see them keeping him.
I think he'll do something backstage. But
Jeff, have you even ever seen Luther?
Sayonara.
Yeah, he is awful. Up next, the guy that he looks great, Brian Cage.
I don't think he wants to come back.
Yeah, I don't think. he does.
I think he's going to be one of the first guys to jump from AEW to WWE.
I think. Well, here's my question: Brian Cage, obviously, extremely talented, has a great look.
Brian Cage can do really cool moves,
Mhm.
and he looks awesome. But a lot of times between the moves, it's not really there. And a
So
lot of times
if you
I
have-
think he has show muscles too, because he picks a dude up, and it looks like he almost loses him, like
Yeah.
fucking super jacked.
So
it's, I like if he went and like went to NXT and trained for a year, and then came, I think he could be really good. But like,
yeah,
he's missing something.
I think the only thing that hurts Brian Cage when it comes to the eyes of AEW is his age and the fact they have Wardlow.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah, it's kind of the same.
And the fact that he's been pretty open about not liking his booking on
yeah,
Twitter.
which I mean,
Well,
you
he
know,
wasn't open with it. His wife was.
And he's liked some things.
Yeah.
yeah. But I
So-
mean, Matt Hardy's wife is.
Yeah.
He kind of seems like he might be AEW's Rusev.
Yeah, where it's like, I don't know.
I don't think Rusev cares. He's not even being used. To be honest, like
No, I mean like when he was in WWE.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you could be doing a lot more with him. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they could, but like, I don't know. Brian Cage like just needs some work with the in between stuff. I mean, it's cool if you can do a 450, but if you can't lock up to start the match, then it's like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I disagree a little there. I mean, you would know more than I do. You've trained and
Yeah.
you're in there.
Yeah.
To me, he's impressive in the ring just for his size and everything like that. And I think I wouldn't anywhere he go, I'd watch.
Mhm.
I just think with his age and with
how old is he?
like he's
75 years old.
Yeah.
he's 120.
I
No, but I'm
a little
saying
younger than Abdullah the Butcher.
I think the fact that you have the Wardlow in there, I
Yeah.
think it's hard to book two huge monsters, especially on a roster of guys
Then you
who
got
are.
Powerhouse Hubs.
Yeah.
Brian Cage is 37.
Okay.
He will
Oh,
be
wow.
38 in about a little less
That's
than a
not that
month.
bad.
The fact that you're gonna probably make, and this is not a shot because I think he's one of the best, like one of my favorites. But the fact that you're probably gonna make Adam Cole a world champion or CM Punk your
Mhm.
world champion, and
Or MJF, your world
or
champion.
MGF your world champion, and then you have a
There.
Wardlow and a fucking and a Wardlow, a Miro, a Lance Archer, and now a Brian Cage,
Mhm.
who you can't book big guys with very well at AEW. I think one of them has to go, and I think Wardlow. I think Brian Cage is one of the guy who can bounce back in another company.
Yeah, I think he do.
Yeah.
Wardlow stayed. He ain't going nowhere.
Well,
Wardlow-
WWE wants him hard. That's I've been
Who?
seeing in that
Wardlow.
Wardlow.
I think Wardlow will be an
Wardlow
AEW
looks like
champion
a really
at some
big
point.
guy until he's next to really big guys, and he's not that big.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying nothing against him, but when you go to WWE and everyone's 6'8",
Mhm.
6'5", and you're 6'2",
I
you're
can see
certainly not as
Wardlow.
big.
I can see
know?
Wardlow being AEW's first big man champion.
I don't know who else would.
Keith Lee. Could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Yes.
he's still about 2 years off from being world champion.
It's about a good
Yeah.
timeline for.
I don't
What
see
they
Lance
have
Archer
booked.
winning it.
No, I don't see Lance Challenge. I can see I can see Brian Cage as an AEW world champion, but I think they would go Wardlow over Brian Cage.
I do too.
Yes,
And I'd like to see Wardlow over Brian Cage. So
Here's a guy who's around all the time, but he never really gets a match.
Kip Sabian has been out in shows in the corridor taking pictures with a paper bag over his head.
Oh,
He's a
unknown
Saints
comic.
fan.
Oh, that's the guy that sits. Is he like the guy who sits in the front row doing that too? Anyway,
Oh, God.
Kip
Well, that's still not.
Luther has a huge niche in the internet following. I've never seen it, but I'll take your word for it.
Look, there's only room for one guy with a huge niche internet following.
And that's
Yeah.
Hook.
That's right.
Yeah. And I like the guy Kip, Hybrid 2 are going to be replaced by Andrew
Briscoes?
Everett.
Andrew Everett.
Yeah,
I'm
Everett.
not familiar. This guy's around, but I don't know if he gets re-signed. Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, he stays.
I think he stays.
yes,
With the best friends
yes.
thing.
I think he's expendable on that team.
I think he's expendable, but I think he stays.
and that's why they put Wheeler Yuta there. So I'm gonna say they might.
Wheeler Yuta does not have Chuck's
Yeah,
personality.
he doesn't.
No.
That Chuck that has great personality, but they never featured Chuck really for a while now. He
This will
did
be
hit,
his
but-
year.
Yeah.
Well, he just came back from that neck injury too.
That was
No,
Trent.
Or no,
that
no,
was
That was
not
Trent.
yeah, Chuck. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the bloom
like
is.
Chuck.
I think the bloom is off the rose a little bit for that whole act, including Orange Cassidy. They're
Yes,
just
me
not
too.
at the level where they were at. They burned out a little bit, but I don't think they burned out enough that they're going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, here's a guy. He's there, but Cole Cabana.
Yes,
He
gone,
stays.
gone,
Gone.
gone.
Oh, with the you think him and the Punk thing?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying the Punk thing. I mean, maybe they're. Who knows if they're social at all? But I mean, when's the last time Cole Cabana had a match that was like a singles match? Yes, he was in that-
Hasn't he been losing matches on Dark?
Yeah, and he was
If
in
you're
that.
if you're a signed person and you're losing on Dark, you're on the chopping block.
Yes, that's why I'm afraid
He'll be
they're
gone
gonna-
before spring.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. His contract will be running up soon, so
Yeah, maybe.
I don't see him.
No,
getting
I see him
re-signed.
staying just because of aren't him and Punk still friends?
No.
They're not.
They sued each
anything
other.
but.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
during the whole
Shit.
when Punk was going through all those lawsuits, he was one of the ones that sued CM Punk.
I think it's not a big surprise that as
So
soon as
work.
CM Punk showed up,
Yeah, and then
that
he's
Cole
gone.
Cabana stopped showing up on TV a lot.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
When was the last time he was on TV? When Danielson kicked his teeth out?
yeah,
And that's because they were in Chicago.
yeah, that's the only. So it's like I don't know. I like him, but he probably NWA bound. Here's a guy. He hasn't been on TV in months
that'd
now
be good.
since his stupid elite killer gimmick. Frankie Kazarian.
I think once they broke SCU up, I think that was pretty much a
Yeah.
that was,
Now Christopher Daniels is a backstage. He's like a
Mhm.
coach.
He's the head of
He-
talent.
yeah,
relations.
so-
He's
so
head
he
of
ain't go-
talent
he ain't going
relations
nowhere.
back there.
But just do they keep Frankie Kazarian? Does it?
I mean,
does he
without-
want to wrestle still?
Unless he
without
transfers into,
Daniel,
like-
without what's his name, and now without
Yeah, Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio, I don't see.
unless he transfers into a backstage role or to a coaching type role, I don't know.
Because he hasn't been on. Remember, he had that match with Christian a while back. That was
Mhm.
probably months ago.
Yeah,
I
They
hate
asked-
the
they
elite.
asked-
I
they
hate
asked
the
them to-
elite hunter thing. Though. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, you go, Brian.
I hate the elite hunter thing, but I think they keep him around a little bit longer.
I don't know.
yeah.
That one's I could see him saying, but I could see him saying, see that. Okay, the next couple.
Again, age is a thing there too.
Yes, next couple are kind of easy. Sunny Kiss.
Gone.
Gone.
I think they just wrapped up the feud on Dark with her
Mhm.
with him and Janela.
Well, the latest thing is they've been doing things with him and Jay Lethal as like a team on the last start.
But then they had Jay Lethal come out and
With Dante
say
Martin.
that-
yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
that's going to be a team. See, I
It kind of seems like whatever happens on Dark, like if they like it, they'll take it.
Yeah,
But if not,
yeah.
it didn't.
It's like their test run.
yeah,
One's with Sonny's still young, and,
Oh, yeah.
and will
I guess-
will do great on the indie scene. Very very talented, very athletic, does everything you need. Just unfortunately, in what's going on in AEW and the talent that's there, it's going to be tough sledding.
yeah. I say go on, not resigned.
And I'm rooting for Sonny. I'm
Yeah.
a fan.
Sonny can do well elsewhere, but I don't think there's room. I don't think there's room right now.
hmm
And we'll go with this tag partner, Joey Janela. I say he's not
He's
gonna
already doing way more on the indie scene than anywhere else. He just wrestled Scotty Too Hottie, like, and he's getting more
I think he'll
buzz.
do well.
He's the next guy that's going to get the Cardona rub.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting more buzz.
And GCW's going up, so I'm thinking
He's getting more buzz outside of AEW than he is in AEW.
So I don't. See
If they do wind up doing that thing where it's like a pay per appearance thing, he would be a really good guy.
Maybe every now and then he shows up
Yeah.
for like the Rumble or something crazy.
Yeah, I kind of love that idea.
Yeah,
Like I do.
just showing up,
Yeah.
a spot here and there. But
Peter Avalon.
Gone.
Is he not gone already?
He's still on the roster.
Exactly.
I checked the website. These people are all still on the roster.
Yeah,
as
Peter,
of today.
Peter
But
Avalon.
also,
Did you hit refresh?
Brody Lee is still on the roster, which I'm like,
they'll never get rid of him off
yeah,
the roster.
but they
No.
should move him to like alumni or something like that.
Yeah.
I think
not active roster.
I think they're talking, or it might be a rumor, or maybe just fan thing. I don't know, but they're talking about possibly starting at the end of this year, mid this year, like an AEW Hall of Fame ring, like where they start a Hall of
yeah,
Fame.
that's fine.
That's
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd
And
be
I-
perfect for that.
Yeah, and then you can put like Arn Anderson and then Jake the Snake.
I'd probably if it does come, I would probably say Brody and Brody, JR, and Jericho would be like your first 3 inductees. That would be
Maybe not Jericho because he's still active. Maybe
Yeah,
like
you don't
that
wanna-
thing where you don't want to put a
Yeah. You usually don't put people that are still active in
Yeah.
a Hall of Fame.
usually. But
You could do like Brody, Jake Roberts.
yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Tully,
Arn Anderson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more. Well, actually 3. Leva Bates.
Gone.
The librarian.
Also, Sinar.
yeah.
That's why I say I don't really see
Bye-bye, Blue
a value.
Pants.
She's very nice, but I don't see the value. And then finally, a tag team, the Butcher and the Blade.
Keep.
I would keep him around. I
Yeah.
know the
We got a lot of tag
what's his
teams.
name? Andy Williams.
Yes,
He's hurt, so that's keeping him away now.
but like they're there, but they're never really.
But when he did show up, people lost their shit when he came out and fucking bodied somebody. So he still has
Blade.
Andy
Butcher.
Oh,
Butcher. Yeah,
Would you keep the Butcher and get rid of the Blade?
I'd keep them both.
Yeah. keep
Yep.
them
Me
both.
too.
I'd keep them.
and I keep the bunny.
I guess she comes. I don't know. I think they would.
I think they're a
Would
tag
be
team.
surprised if they didn't get re-signed.
They're a tag team like 2.0, who I would never ever see winning a tag team championship.
Mhm.
But I think they serve their purpose in the tag team
Yeah.
division.
But I mean,
If you want to have a deep, robust tag division, they're good as like your number 6 heel tag.
yeah. But
Mhm.
I mean, got to free up some money for the Briscoes.
I think they
See
did.
you later. Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah,
I think they're on the DL signed. That's it.
Yeah,
So I mean, who knows? And it's like it's not like let's say like look what Matt Cardona did. Zack Ryder was so played out and boring.
Mhm.
No one liked him. He went to AEW, and it did not work out because they're like you're still Zack Ryder. But now
It's,
look at him.
it's
So you can
not
turn your whole career around.
Yeah, it's not the fact that these people aren't good and that they deserve to not have their job.
I mean,
It's just when
Luther.
AEW first started, they weren't expecting WWE to release what they
They
did.
didn't have the
Mhm.
the people that are interested that they are now.
Yeah, yeah, and it's. I mean, how many times even on a smaller scale where someone comes to you and goes, Andy, a couple months, we're starting a wrestling company.
Yeah.
I want you to drop what you're doing and come work for
Yeah,
me.
and a lot of people are like, wow.
Fuck you. I'll see what you're.
Yeah, let me know.
I'll
when
see you in
runs. Yeah.
6 months to see if you still have a venue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no one's gonna walk away from guaranteed WWE money to be like,
Maybe. Yeah.
go join a company, and then they did it. You know what I mean? Now everyone wants to be there.
Yeah. I mean, what now? They're established in a couple years,
Mhm.
and then there's people there that are saying, "Hey, it's good. Come,
Yeah.
this is what I get paid." But oh,
But as far as the tag teams, like after the Briscoes, who out there do you really want to sign? Like,
yeah, I don't.
you have all the good tag teams already.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
really, unless they do something dumb and release the Usos, which you're not going to do.
Yeah,
You have all the good tag teams
yeah.
that
There's
aren't already signed.
there's no like real big hot indie tag teams that are like nationwide.
Ali, Catch, and Effie, maybe
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
they don't like
they don't like doing
intergender-
intergender wrestling, so that's
Mhm.
not going to work.
Well, I mean, as we say that, there's an intergender match next Wednesday.
No, it's a mixed tag.
All mixed
Yeah.
tag.
Mixed
Yeah.
tag. Yeah.
Although will Britt slap Orange Cassidy?
Oh, that's fine. It's fine if when they do that. It's fine if the women hit the men.
But
They-
the only
Yeah.
thing that confuses me with that match is obviously now you officially have said on camera, on screen, that they are a thing,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's been known, but now they're
Yeah.
officially a thing. You're setting up the Ruby. You were like kind of teasing a Ruby Soho Britt Baker thing, and now you're are you just throwing Chris Statlander in there for a match just because Orange Cassidy's going against thing? Like,
Yeah.
is this another? Is
it
this
seems like Statlander has an issue with Hirsch that they're doing. It's a little like
it's
People are gonna
convoluted.
pull the
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is for me as a fan, and maybe because I'm biased, I love Britt Baker, and this is not me saying I can't wait for her to lose a title. But if she's gonna lose a title, there's two people I would love for her to do it to, and that's fucking Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander.
I don't think it's gonna be either
It's
one.
Thunder
And I-
Rosa.
It's
yeah.
Thunder Rosa.
That's
Depending how long that
who I put
how
on.
long they rode this Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez thing out. Is
Long
it a
enough.
1 week thing?
Yeah, she ain't gonna win the title anytime
No.
soon. Maybe in the summer
Yeah.
Yeah.
or fall.
But do you keep squashing people with Brit like Thunder?
You don't have to squash people.
Not squash, but do you like? Does your run go to the point where like Britt Baker's like a Roman Reigns and she's beaten every single person
No.
almost twice, and
No.
some of them are your
You don't
Chris
have to.
Statlanders and your Ruby Sohos?
Well, I mean, you have to beat names to beat the champion. I mean, you're a champion.
Yeah,
So there's no shame in losing to the world champion.
I get that,
Right,
but
especially if it's not a good match. It's not a 2-minute or
yeah.
you know.
I guess I'm just so preconditioned with WWE that once you lose, you're fucking forget about it. We're
Yeah.
not going to be seen
Yeah.
in 6 months.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
Ruby will win the title at some point. So will Chris Statlander. There's also the secondary title.
Yeah, I think Chris Statlander has a better chance of being TBS than she does the world champion.
I don't know. I mean, she gets a figure. If you get a figure, then you're made in AEW.
I would love to see her as the
Yeah.
main champion, but now there's a secondary. I feel like she falls in that thing because she's a gimmick.
I feel that way with Ruby.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Possible.
I don't know. I can see it. I'm gonna be surprised.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, how many companies have Ruby worked for and they wouldn't put a title on her?
One.
Especially if one. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
one.
been a champion pretty much
So I'm
everywhere
saying,
else.
like, yeah, a main company on TV. So I mean,
The only one she ever worked for before this one.
yeah, I love Ruby. I think she would be a great
She's
champion.
great.
But
She is great.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna have more talent coming in. I think, especially if they sign Tony Storm.
Mhm.
Tony Storm is somebody you build a division around.
You get her, and you get Athena, former Emerald Moon, and maybe Tegan Knox will wear her shirt. There you go.
or
That's-
Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, Ty. I mean, yeah. Come on, why wouldn't you?
I think Ty is a little bit below those three.
Yeah,
As
she
far as,
is.
like,
but I
bell to
mean,
bell.
I would sign her.
Oh, I would totally sign
Yeah.
Ty Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, those three. I mean,
Who's that girl I put in the group chat that's on NXT 2.0?
Oh, you said her. I don't even know her name.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what
Russian
you're talking
girl.
about.
The girl who, I mean, I'm not trying to sound weird or perverted, but she's thick. Like but she's jacked.
It's funny
Yeah.
you said
Pervert.
that, and NWA has a Russian girl that's like that.
Yeah.
Fit that description. I was like, did you see her?
The photo that popped up that WWE put out there was her legit in like a fishnet fucking suit. Like that was her
I
outfit.
know the one that got some buzz in the last NXT TV show was Wendy Chu, who used to be the woman who would sit in a chair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now she's just in pajamas all the time, and she's always sleeping.
Wait, that's the girl who's a sleeping girl is the girl who was the spooky
Yeah,
Xia
Yeah.
Li girl.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's Wendy Chu. Xia Li, whatever happened to her?
yeah. Well,
She kicked fucking 4 people's faces off.
she went to the main roster.
She did, and then nothing ever happened.
She'll be in the women's rumble because they need her.
She was the one that listen, I'm not
Uh.
defending Nia Jax, but Xia Li hurt way more fucking people recently than fucking Nia Jax did. Mercedes Martinez stood there and took a kick to the face and was
Yeah.
knocked out completely cold. The who's the young girl they had? She smashed her nose all over her
Xylee
face.
is reckless because she's green. That's why.
Yeah, she was spin kicking people's fucking faces off.
But
Yeah.
I will say Xylee was not on the main roster for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
She the one with the really cool entrance.
Yeah, it's like a Mortal Kombat character.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
she's
cool-
like
that's
kind of
cool entrance.
shoulder length, black hair, a little
Mhm.
shorter. Yeah, she could be good, but she needs to stay in NXT for a little bit longer, a lot longer.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know
just
that
looking at
Russian girl.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying
know
to find her.
Mandy Rose's group, but Gigi Dolan and the other one.
Mhm.
And there's that skateboard girl.
Oh, yeah, Cora Jade.
Yeah,
I tried to watch.
Kmart, Sky Blue or Blue Sky, Sky
Yeah,
Blue.
I
Whatever her name.
tried to watch NXT 2.0. It's rough.
I think it's awful.
It's rough for me
There's
anyway.
some
It's
talented
rough.
people there.
It's
but-
not
Oh, there
too
is.
bad.
There are some people that are still there that have a ton. Like who's that? The Spanish dude that wore the mask and he has a team.
Again, I think on a short
Oh.
list.
Yeah, I could see him getting released.
Oh,
No, what
he's-
his what was?
Santos
Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar. I love him. I think
There's-
he could be him and Angel Garza could
here's
be
the thing with
so
him.
good.
Here's the thing with him. Here's the thing with Escobar. Under 6, over 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Under
They
6,
don't like
over
that.
30.
That's why I Ciampa's great, but I think they're gonna might let him go.
I think Ciampa's ready to just leave. I think him handing the title over is him just being like, I'm out of here.
Remember
He didn't hand it over. He lost.
Yeah,
Well,
remember
I
his,
mean, yeah.
his whole thing was he didn't want to leave NXT.
Are you talking about Valentina Feroz? Is that who you're?
You said
Maybe.
Russian girl.
I didn't say Russian. You did.
Oh,
I
I
just
thought-
said she's like a thicker girl.
Oh, I don't know.
Nikki Volkov.
Nikki. Yeah, it is Nikki.
For real. I was
That
just
is a
joking.
Russian name.
Yeah, it is
Nick-
Russian.
You
Well,
can't
sure,
get more
for
Russian than Volkov.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought Nikolai Volkov,
Yeah,
but I'm
that's-
thinking, well, maybe it's Nikki.
That's
Nikki
100% her.
Volkov.
There's a video of her like hitting a bag. Listen. There's not many people in professional wrestling who can actually make their strikes look legit. She's a badass.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say not many.
There's a lot of
Nikita
people.
Lyons.
There's a
Nikita
lot of
Lyons.
people in wrestling who need to work on their strikes.
Yeah, but then there's a lot that are great.
Yeah. There's a lot of top name people who need to work on their strikes.
that's true.
Nikita Lyons isn't even. Her match was on 205 Live. She hasn't even been on NXT.
That still
really?
exists.
Yeah.
It's
She-
not live anymore, though. I don't
And they
She's someone
Call it
just from
205
seeing her
then.
hit the bag and her look and everything
Yeah.
about her. Like I would tune in to see what she could do with
It
it.
should be called open weight taped because it's not
There-
limited to 205 and it's
Well,
not
the title's gone.
Yeah, there's no title anymore.
It got absorbed in the
Yeah.
North American
The
title.
North American Live.
Yeah, there you go.
I
NA
can't believe that's still a
Live.
thing. Who the hell's watching that?
No one. Literally. Oh, one
Watch
person.
I also
Yeah.
disagree with the
It was
NXT
you.
2.0 take when I make my return to the podcast or prepare to defend my love for NXT 2.0.
It's fine if you're not expecting the good NXT.
Yeah.
If
If
you're
you didn't-
okay with really green wrestlers, okay storytelling,
Gimmicky, yeah.
gimmicky stuff, people who aren't really ready for TV yet, with some good people too, then it's fine.
I enjoy it. I like watching a wrestler start from the beginning on TV and work their way up.
Sure, I guess that's fine. The crowd, I do like the way the crowd is set up, like the bleachers and the thing with the plexiglass there. That's cool. I sometimes think the lights are too much, where
is.
someone comes down and they're bright red the
color
entire
scheme is
Wait a
time.
too
minute.
much.
There's
Yeah.
plexiglass like in a hockey game
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, they
But-
kept that from the pandemic.
But I kind of like it. I'm into it.
Actually, I don't think they have that anymore, do they?
Yeah, there's plexiglass there.
no, but it
Does
doesn't
it ever
think
pop
I-
out?
wait, no,
They
I
have to
didn't think
put
it was
back
on.
in?
No,
last
it's not
couple
there because
weeks.
they did a whole thing where they ripped somebody out of the audience and beat them up.
Yeah.
You're right. They did get rid of it.
Joe Gacy has been a guy who's really stood out.
I love
He's a
him.
vet. He's not a guy. He's not green at all. He's
I
been around
think for
forever.
me,
Awesome.
I think my thing with NXT 2.0 is I think once everybody left,
I think it's,
I didn't give it a
everybody-
legit shout.
Everybody is still like, they're mad that the good NXT is gone and it's gone forever, and
Yeah.
and this is nowhere near as good as it used to be.
yeah,
In a bubble by itself, it's okay. It's basically the closest WWE is ever going to have to doing NWA Power.
yeah.
Is the way you can think of.
I got to
NXT
give it more of a
2.0.
shot. I think I have to watch it more week to week to because listen, when I first started AEW, I said on the podcast, I said I think it's going to be good, but there's really no talent that has jumped out at me yet. And then after a couple of months, I was like, all right, I'm really invested in this person, and maybe that's the case with NXT 2.0 with me. I got to stick with it and find a character who jumps out at me. Cameron Grimes is still there.
Yeah,
He's
Cameron Grimes
awesome.
is fun.
Love
I
him.
really like Cameron Grimes. So maybe
he
the,
is a Triple H guy. So
yeah.
who knows how
He's very
entertaining.
talented, though. He's very
Yeah,
talented.
I like
He's got himself in a really good shape too.
Yeah, I like him better as a heel and not the baby face that they're trying to push him as.
I think he's better as a babyface.
Really?
He could do both really good, and
I
that's,
mean, I like-
that's
I
when
like-
you know you have a star.
Yeah.
He could really.
I
do
think
both
they're going to
good.
keep some guys around just because they know they have all these people that are super green, and you have to have somebody that actually knows how to wrestle
Yeah.
to teach them how to wrestle. So you can't just have a bunch of 20-year-olds going against each other. They're
The
not going to get any
the
better.
guy they had working with AJ seems pretty interesting.
Grayson Waller.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Von Wagner.
No, Grayson Waller is what did I think of him? He's basically like
like a
It's-
Richie Snooty UK guy.
he's Australian.
Australia.
He's a
yeah.
cocky Australian guy.
Yeah.
Who's like a better looking Dexter Loomis, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Easy. He's pretty good looking.
And he doesn't seem
With his
fine.
piercing eyes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like him.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty much what we have for news and for the PWI
All right,
awards.
well, this spoiler alert, people tuning in and listening. This one's going long. We're at the hour 14 mark, and we still got to talk Bob Backlund. So let's
Mr.
Mr.
Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund. So if you're listening to this and you're at PPW this weekend,
Well, his career is kind of.
you don't have to ask dumb questions because we're gonna get you his history so you can ask
I
him
mean,
the
when
good
you're
ones.
champion for 5 years, and that's the biggest thing in your run, we don't have to talk about it that much.
Yeah.
He's been champion for 5 years.
He was.
And he's gonna get some heat, Mr. Bob Backlund. at
Is there
PPW.
anything else to say about his run other than he was champion for 5 years?
I don't know. I don't know much about his
He
career.
ran for president.
Yes.
Good
that was-
lord.
Yeah, but that was not in his run.
He had a very interesting second act that we'll get into.
Yeah, the second act was great.
We'll start at the beginning, and the beginning is August 14th.
I will take
1949.
PCO's second half of his life than his first
Oh
half.
yeah,
Another guy with a very interesting second act,
Yeah.
PCO. Bob Backlund from Princeton, Minnesota, junior college standout in football and wrestling at Waldorf College. He did move on to North Dakota State University.
A lot of another like is Minnesota like That's just what a breeding
Something in
ground
the
for
water up
professional
there, yeah.
wrestling.
Absolutely.
Something in the water.
Is there anyone like right now billed from Minnesota that's like
Well, Brock Lesnar's from Minnesota, isn't he?
He's from South Dakota, but he went to college at Minnesota.
And they used to bill him from.
Yeah.
I don't know. It has to be somewhere.
I feel
I
like
don't know if
it's
he's from
real.
Minnesota. I'm looking it up
I'm
right
going to
now.
sound extremely biased because I'm obviously like really invested in the indie scene in this area. So it's like for me, it's like, well, all the really good people now are from the Northeast, New York, Philly, New
Nobody
Jersey.
else.
Yeah, but at
Pennsylvania,
one time
yeah.
it was all from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them were.
I was from Minnesota too.
Yeah. So
I was the governor of Minnesota.
all right, let's get going.
The first person I thought of because he's currently at the University of Minnesota, but he's from Indiana, is Gable Steveson, who's currently lives in Minnesota. The Olympic gold medalist who just signed.
Fun fact: did not know that fucking Chad Gable and fucking Otis
Yeah, old friend.
are actually old friends,
Yeah.
and that's
Since
crazy.
what, 2012 or something?
awesome.
I was like,
Oh, I didn't
wow.
know that.
Makes me
Cool.
honestly, after seeing that, it makes me enjoy their tag team a little more.
Oh, they're
And they are the new Raw.
The
tag
new
team
Rock tag
champions.
team. So I don't know why that came up. You said wrestling and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and it popped-
Minnesota.
Yeah, and it popped in my head.
Gable Steveson's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Bob Backlund was from Minnesota, but he went to college at North Dakota State, Division II wrestling champion there, and then moved up to heavyweight. And I think he finished like 5th or 6th. And then he went on to train with Eddie Sharkey, a very famous wrestling trainer who trained a lot of big name guys. Ravishing Rick Rude was an Eddie Sharkey guy. The Road Warriors were trained by Eddie Sharkey.
Whoa. And didn't he run a Fed?
He ran a bar, I think.
Okay.
And a lot of his a lot of the people he trained, like Barry Darso, a lot of those Robbinsdale High guys, Nikita Koloff, all ran through. I don't know if he ran Grandma Bees or just was a regular there. I think he ran a school. I don't think he ever ran a promotion, because if you ran a promotion in Minnesota back then, you would have gotten stomped out real quick by Vern Gagne. And that was another reason why a lot of people, who's from Minnesota? Ric Flair. Everybody thinks North Carolina when they think Ric Flair. He's from Minnesota.
Mhm.
He still talks with that Minnesota accent. But
Telling Minnesota's breeding ground for that old school wrestling.
it's because of Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne is
the
the
Iron
reason.
Sheik came out of there. I don't
Yeah.
think he's from there.
He's
but,
from Iran.
right. But he came out of Minnesota.
Yeah, he was in the year that one class that Ric Flair was in Vern Gagne. They used to train in Vern Gagne's barn.
like
and
73.
73, 70, it was it was Flair, Iron Sheik, a few other people. I think maybe one of the other people was in that plane crash, like Mike McCord or somebody. This guy Chris Taylor, who was a super heavyweight wrestler, who's like 400 pounds, but a great amateur wrestler, died very young, unfortunately.
Like
but-
my boy Blackwell.
Who?
What was that dude?
Crusher Blackwell.
He's like 500 pounds. He was our drop kicks.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so Vern Gagne is the real reason that you have so many people from Minnesota. He would push amateur wrestling. He had fun scholarships for amateur wrestling. That and that bar that everybody felt like they found Rick Rude in the Road Warriors. Those are the two reasons that Minnesota was like the breeding ground. I remember Scott Hall.
Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig, yeah.
Mhm.
His dad wrestled for the AWA, Larry Hennig, Larry the Axe. All of them, a lot of them were Robbinsdale High. We did a whole 2 episodes.
That was a
series
fun
on
episode.
Robbinsdale High.
I learned a lot on that one. That was cool.
But Bob Backlund, not from Robbinsdale. He is from Princeton, Minnesota. And he started training in the started wrestling in the AWA. This where a lot of your big stars got broke back then. He was just a clean cut, all-American boy, technical wrestler. And back then, you gained experience by moving around a lot. Unless you became a huge star somewhere, you jumped around. So he starts in the AWA. He's there for about a year. Then he goes to Amarillo with the Funks.
I still think that reigns true today. I think you have to get actually noticed.
Well-
you have to move around.
Well, this wasn't noticed back then.
You were learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then, every territory had its own style. Like the WWF was very slow. AWA was very mat wrestling based. Memphis was wild brawls and crazy angles. And Florida was more of angle driven, but you also had to be a good wrestler. And Mid-Atlantic, you learned how to work tag teams because they were a tag team territory. Everyone had their own style. Mid-South, you wrestled a lot of big guys. That's where all the football players went. Texas, it was those old school bloody brawls. It was Terry Funk style wrestling, Dory Funk Jr. style wrestling. And so that's where Bob Backlund comes in. He beats Terry Funk for the NWA Western States title, his first big singles title. He goes on to Georgia, which is one of the bigger promotions there, and teams up with another pretty famous guy, Jerry Briscoe.
Never heard of him?
Mr. McMahon.
We brought up Chris Candido earlier. If I wanted you to be hooked, you'd be hooked.
He'd be hooked.
If I wanted to hook you, you'd be hooked.
If I wanted you to be hooked, you would have been hooked.
So Jerry Briscoe and Backlund win the Georgia tag team titles from Toru Tanaka and Mr. Fuji.
Wow.
And then he moves on to Florida, and he teams with Steve Kern, who would wind up becoming a very famous tag wrestler with the Fabulous Ones, who wound up being Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were going to make Adam Cole Skinner Jr.
Yes.
And shave his head.
No, it's grow a big beard.
And spit chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
That's
Have
what
a
you do.
gator claw.
Yeah.
But Steve Kern and Backlund won the Florida tag titles from Bob Orton Jr., father of Randy, and Bob Roop, who was another big, serious, menacing-looking guy.
Collegiate wrestler, too.
Yeah. And one of those guys, there's this infamous video called Plan B, and there was a territory war somewhere. I think it might have been in like Georgia or Minnesota or Memphis or somewhere. And Bob Roop and Boris Malenko and a few other people, they're like, if they look like they're going to lose a territory war. So they did this whole video about how wrestling is not real. I've never been in a real match in my life. And they're going to show it to kill wrestling in that territory forever because they lost the territory.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Just tell all the trade secrets.
I think Bob Orton Jr. might have been in that video too.
You're ruining. Remember when like Magic was like when people just wanted to not know the illusion of magic, and
Yeah.
that
I
guy
always
went on.
wanted to know.
That
Magic
guy
secrets revealed.
and that guy went on TV and just fucking
Yeah, with
dumped
the
on
stupid
every-
ass mask.
dumped on everyone's
Did he
shit.
take it off and then it's like, oh, we don't even know who you are.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
Valentino. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Put the mask back on. And then
Yeah.
he did.
Wow,
He did.
wow.
They brought the show back and he just had the mask again. Like,
Yeah.
he took it off.
Yeah,
What are you, Rey Mysterio?
What are
He's
you,
like-
fake?
yeah.
Magic's fake. I don't believe in this.
Because everyone's
stuff.
like, it's gonna be a big name. Like, David
Yeah, and I was
Copperfield
like,
is
Yeah,
gonna
everybody
tear.
thought it was
Harry
David Kopp.
Houdini himself.
He's resurrected. Yeah.
Take it off. It's Ric Flair.
Yeah.
The Black Scorpion all over again.
Yeah.
Dang.
So while Bob Backlund's hopping around the territories, winning a lot of tag titles, up in the WWF at the time, the king of the hill is still Bruno Sammartino. He's on his second run. He came back. His second run was his big run as far as like big box office. But he's getting ready to wind down. He's getting older. He doesn't want to wrestle that schedule anymore. And WWF was always a babyface territory. And it was usually Bruno, but for a while it was Pedro Morales, but it was always built on.
Now they can't book a babyface their life.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Before that, it was Antonino Rocca was their big star. So it was always the idea you would have this big babyface draw. And Bruno's winding down. It's like, we got to get a new guy. We got to get a new babyface to carry the title and be a long-term
And his
champion.
name is Johnson.
That would be
Andre the
way
Giant.
later. Andre was an attraction. He would go all over the place. One of the guys they talked about was actually somebody we just said, Steve Kern was bandied about as being
Wow.
the guy. Yeah, it's odd. But
That's a long shot.
they settle on Vince Senior, Vincent
Mhm.
J. McMahon settles on Bob Backlund. For some reason. We don't know
Yeah.
why, but because he's not usually up until this point, your baby faces in WWF were largely ethnic baby faces. It was they wanted to draw Italians. Bruno Sammartino brought the Italians in droves.
That's strawberry blonde hair, baby.
Ginger. Pedro Morales was a huge draw with the Puerto Rican crowd.
Ivan
And
Koloff.
Ivan Koloff was a heel. He was
Yeah.
Your heels were Russian or usually Polish or Irish.
Yeah, or German.
Or German.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Or Ken Patera.
Or from Africa. That was another, like, if you weren't white and you were foreign, you were a heel.
Actually, Polish go either way because you had Stan Stasiak, who was a
Oh,
heel,
that's
and Ivan
true, yeah.
Putski was a babyface. You can go either way. But a lot of your like lower like
Well, do you think back then too, being the legitimate tough guy, always help people out backstage of like,
no,
oh
not in WWF.
no,
That's one of the reasons Buddy Rogers. That's why they split from the had a split champion from the NWA because they wanted Rogers and the NWA wanted Thez, and Rogers was not a tough guy. Thez was a tough guy. Rogers was not. Rogers was a guy who wasn't an amateur wrestler. He was a cop in New Jersey, but he had a great personality. He got so over, and that's why they wanted to make him his guy. And then his health failed, and then they just went over to Bruno really quick.
yeah,
But no, that didn't matter as much in the WWF because not many people would cross Vince McMahon like that. Vince McMahon Sr., Vincent J. McMahon was very respected, and not many people would do that to him. And if you did later, like around the time Backlund came around, and especially toward the end of his run, You had your policemen, you had your people that would enforce the rules and enforce everything.
It'd be an interesting question to ask
Like
him.
Gorilla.
Like, why do
Yeah.
you think you were picked to be the biggest babyface at that point? Like the guy to like the
Yeah, well, I
He
mean,
legitimately had a baby face.
Yeah,
I think
maybe
that helped.
Yeah.
All-American boy. That's what he was
that's
billed
what it
as.
was. I think
Yeah.
they wanted to kind of move away from the this is the hero for the Italians, this is the hero for the Puerto Rican audience.
I mean, if you
Hero-
think American, you think like American boy, like blue collar, fucking went to school, eat your Wheaties,
Yeah.
fucking wrestled in
I-
high school.
Howdy doody.
Yep.
Yeah, Bob Backlund, your
especially,
guy.
especially how
Yeah.
he looked then.
Yeah.
I think they wanted a quote unquote white meat baby face, and that was Bob Backlund.
Great White Hope.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why. And I think there's sort of things were changing too. Like, and the guy they really should have maybe run with a little bit more, and maybe even turned him babyface as a guy.
Superstar.
Yep.
Yeah, because Bruno's your champion, and Backlund's not going to be Bruno. They're not going to do a babyface match. You need that transition champion. Like Ivan Koloff was a transition champion from Bruno to Pedro. Stan Stasiak was a transition from Pedro back to Bruno. So your transition champion here, and he's going to be champion longer. Like Koloff and Stasiak were champion for like a few weeks. And the new guy is going to be your first kind of long-term heel champion, a little under a year, superstar Billy Graham. And a lot of people in wrestling today, like anybody, like The Rock, Hulk Hogan, anybody that does that big gregarious "I'm cool" promo owes Billy Graham royalties.
Mhm.
They owe Billy Graham a check because he was electric. He grabbed that crowd. He was a heel, but he was
Ahead of his time.
so ahead of his time.
Where he
In the
was
late
he like
70s.
was he a heel at that point in time that people were like, he's a dick, but I fucking like him.
Some people were, yeah.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't admit it because kayfabe was a little more alive and well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
It was the whole look, the muscles, the tan, the
Hulk
his
Hogan,
style.
Hulk Hogan lifted everything.
and the
for Billy
jive
Graham.
talking.
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk didn't take that, but
Brother.
Dusty did.
Imagine Hulk Hogan with Dusty Rhodes' kind of rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes' promo skills. Not as good as Dusty. Nobody was as good as Dusty.
There's times where
but-
I seen now, if I'm not mistaken, Billy Graham also kind of had like I almost said it the wrong way. I almost said it backwards, but like I had like a Hogan and like a Ventura kind of look. What didn't he have
Yeah,
the
because they both stole that from Billy Graham.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
The bleach blonde hair, tie dye.
yeah. So when I
Jacked.
first seen
That's like saying Dolph Ziggler has a Shawn Michaels look. Yeah, he stole it from him.
exactly. So what I like so but if you depending on what generation you ask, if you show them
Oh yeah.
if they only know it's
yeah.
Dolph Ziggler, then they see Shawn Michaels, they're like, oh, that guy's, you know what I mean? Like for me, that was Ventura and like
Yeah.
I seen Billy Graham and I was like, oh,
When I say people owe Billy Graham a royalty check, they're the two biggest ones.
Yeah.
And Scott Steiner when he was Big Papa Pump.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But Billy Graham, the plan even before Billy Graham won the title was that Bob Backlund was going to win it from him, and they bring Bob Backlund in around the same time they're putting the title on Graham, and they had him wrestle Billy Graham a lot. Like he would get all these wins on other people, but he would just incrementally do better against Graham. He had a match where he lost to Graham by count out. Then it was a draw. Then he beat Graham by count out. And he's just building up. And then the fourth match, he beats Billy Graham. And then Bob Backlund in 1978, February 20th, 1978, he wins the WWF still title. And it's always one of those things where you'll see these things sometimes. Oh, who was the WWF champion or the WWE champion when you were born? You see all these young people like Edge. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Like, what?
I'm old. And I think for me and Andy, it's Bob Backlund.
82.
Yeah.
Because they what? But Sheik won on 83, right?
Late 83. Yeah.
Yep.
I was when I was born, Bob Backlund was the WWF champion.
How about-
And he kept it for
Well,
5
If you were
years.
born in 90, what was it, 3? You could buy
In a
back-
very small 3-day window in 93.
He kept it
comment
for
if you're
five-
watching,
Still, he
comment in the
beat
chat.
Bret Hart.
Comment in the chat or comment, take a screenshot of this. If you're listening to this audio only, take a screenshot and put it on whatever social media you use and tag us and tell us who the champion of wrestling was
Yeah,
when-
of WWE.
of WWE.
You can't do AEW, obviously.
Yeah.
And Mike Infield.
There's no shock on who ours is.
Hogan.
Hogan. Yeah, Hogan.
I don't know who the NWA champion. I think the NWA champion was probably Harley Race when I was born because I was born in
82.
summer of
What was
'83.
Starcade 1 was what, 84?
83.
83?
I think Ivan Koloff was champ when I was
Was
born.
it?
What year was Austin born?
He was born
I
in
forget.
2000. Right, Steve Austin.
No.
Yeah, Harley Race when I was born
The
had
Rock.
just won the title back from Ric Flair for the NWA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Yep, there we go.
I'm trying to think when Koloff beat Bruno and what was it 670?
I can get a lineage up here.
I was born in April of 70. So
I could just. I
trying
have.
to guess
I have
that it was maybe Ivan Koloff in his short.
That was a very
Well,
short
Bruno
run.
was what 15 years, but then it was 6 years out or 5 years out.
He was champion for 7.
Seven-
And Pedro had it
4.
for a little bit. April of 70 would have been Bruno's first run.
Bruno, okay.
He lost it in 71. He was
Okay.
champion from May 17th, 1963 to January 18th, 1971.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he sold
Christ.
out the garden all that time too. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
He did.
that long, and,
for it.
and the product never got stale. Like,
Oh, it
that's-
was stale.
Yeah,
But
it
people
was-
loved it. People ate it up.
Plus, it
Yeah.
was only like once a month.
And
in the
yeah, I
garden.
guess.
And There
Yeah.
was no.
It was
TV.
like,
Right.
and it was kayfabe. So like, it'd be like saying, "Oh, the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup again. Hockey is stale."
Yeah.
It would be one of those things. Oh,
Yeah.
Tom Brady won the Super Bowl again. Football is stale. It's still the biggest thing on. It's the biggest thing on
Still-
television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even I think when Bruno wasn't, or when Graham was champ, they had Dusty and
Yeah.
4 matches at the Garden,
Mhm.
and that's incredible.
Yeah.
Dusty wasn't even a WWE
When
worker at the time.
when Graham was the champion, they did a rematch with Bruno at the Philadelphia Spectrum, and it was so bad the traffic to go try to buy tickets for this match. They had to get on the radio and say, "Don't even try to go to the Spectrum. There's gridlock traffic. The show sold out. You're not going to get tickets." They had to go on the radio to say, "Please stop going there," because the traffic was.
Do you
so
think
bad.
wrestling ever gets there again?
No,
No.
not to that point.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Never say never.
Not to that point.
I'm going to say never.
Yeah.
I think now more than ever, I don't think it gets that big just because there's so much.
Yeah, there's so much variety. Nothing's that big anymore
Yeah.
because there's so much choice. There's so many niche things. Nothing is that big anymore.
The way that wrestling
Except for
goes in
football.
cycles, I could see it happening again.
Here's my thing. I never thought I'd see a day where people would like. Obviously, we're in a very politicized climate right now, and people chose to not watch the NFL. I never thought I'd see a day where people are like, "I'm boycotting the NFL."
Yeah, that happened, and the NFL was still the biggest thing on TV by a mile.
Yeah.
I agree.
A small percentage of people did that, and
Yeah.
the NFL did not skip a beat.
No, not at all.
I stopped watching it.
I'm
I'm still there here and there. I'll still watch a
I
game,
never
but
started.
I never started either, so I'm with Andy on
I
that
don't really
one.
watch as much sports just because I consume so
Here's-
much wrestling now.
Of the,
I'm from Philadelphia, so I try to stop watching sports because it's once every.
I mean, I hear you on that. My team's a disappointment.
14.
It's hard to get excited
of
every
the-
week.
of the 100, I saw this the other day. And it stuck with me. Of the 100 top-rated TV shows in 2021, how many of the top 100 TV shows do you think were NFL football?
Wow.
2021.
Yeah,
all of them.
not quite. 91 out of 100 were
Really?
football
That's
games.
insane.
Wow.
That's how popular football is.
Yeah. Well, here we go. There's one in the chat. I said I gave the call to action. Sam says Backlund was his champion of the year he was born.
There you go.
Yeah. What?
Wow, my Sam.
Yeah, you're Sam.
Yeah.
So this episode's for him.
There you go, Sam.
He has
I
a
was talking about him a
he has
little
a
bit. I'm
little
like,
bit of- he
I
has-
don't.
So he was born in 94.
he actually has a little bit
no,
of a
he'd be
Backlund
younger
look.
than me, then, and that'd be a no.
Yeah, he has a little bit of a Backlund look.
No, he doesn't.
He looks like a white. He looks.
No, he
He
doesn't.
looks like an all-American boy.
He's an all-American boy,
Yeah.
but no, not a Backlund.
You could be all American and not
No.
look like Bob Backlund.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Brock Lesnar.
there were 2 All-American boys that were from Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
one swiveled his hips, and the other one was perfect.
what?
I'm not Montreal. Sorry, I thought
Yeah.
I thought we were still in Minnesota.
No, we're talking about the Rue shows.
Yeah.
Oh.
We are way out there now.
Sorry, I'm out of it. All right,
So-
go ahead.
So yeah, Backlund is the champion there, and it is a 5-year run. So long as you don't count that time he lost the title to Antonio Inoki, and WWE does not count.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah, he lost.
That was ours too.
He lost to Inoki in Japan, and then
But that's Bob Backlund all day long.
No, it's not.
not Bob.
I'm joking.
That looks more like Bob Backlund than Bob Backlund looks like Bob Backlund.
Oh, Sam.
So
This is what happens when you chime in, Sam.
Yeah, being told you look like Bob Backlund, not really a
Yeah.
compliment.
I don't know. I thought he was pretty handsome,
Yeah, he's a
It's
handsome
not
guy.
like saying, "Hey, you look like The Rock."
and he's
Yeah.
aged very well too.
He did.
So
Well, The
he's-
Rock wasn't my ideal either.
I know, but I'm
so
just, not for you.
Bob
I'm just-
Backlund
so
still looks
I'm
like he's
saying, yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Bob Backlund looks very good for a 72-year-old man.
Yeah, he
right
does.
now.
He does.
So they did have some big matches with him there. He was one of the main guys who did the champion versus champion matches. I put the video up on the YouTube page earlier today, or the Facebook.
Him and Flair, right?
him and Flair.
him and Race
Yeah, he did.
and Bockwinkel.
And they were almost always either double countouts, double DQs, or draws. He did one with Bockwinkel, 4 with Race, one
I'd
with
lose
Ric
my mind.
Flair.
Well, they couldn't
I know.
They couldn't.
I
get a
fucking would
winner.
hate it. I'm kind of happy I'm not because
You would have hated wrestling back then because draws were common.
yeah,
Mhm. Very common.
because we can't let a fucking someone take a loss.
Double count out.
Well,
Oh.
no, they see.
Well-
Neither company wanted their champion. To
Yeah,
lose.
I know.
And with the NWA, it was a traveling champion, so the NWA champion couldn't lose unless the board voted for them to
Mhm.
lose.
when I go to a show and,
then-
I hear that someone refuses to lose
I
'cause
get
their
so
image,
pissed.
it annoys the fuck out of me.
Me too. Especially when it's like,
This is theater.
why don't you look who you are?
Wasn't Shawn Michaels the king of that? Though?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, your favorite wrestler is going to do this more than anybody.
Yeah.
Well, not anybody, brother, but a lot more than most people.
But when he was in the ring, he was so. I'm not gonna get into it right now. I would say the reason he was the way he was is because he did work hard, he did really well, and because he was the undersized guy, a lot of people wouldn't give him their shine. So then when he finally got the opportunity to have the ball on his court, and people were like, he's like, "Fuck you! You guys were the ones sticking it to me my entire
fuck
career."
you, Chris Candido.
Yeah.
You did
how
nothing.
much?
Yeah.
How much taller was Bret Hart?
Well,
I was gonna say Brett and him
Brett
weren't
the same
too.
size?
Yeah, they weren't
Yeah.
too far apart.
Brett had a little
I'm going to stick it to you, Hogan. And
Yeah.
the one time they wrestled, who won?
yeah, but he made him look silly.
Yeah, well,
He had lifters in his shoes, Bret
Yeah.
Hart, to make him look.
Well, Bret Hart also had a lot of pull with Vince because Vince wanted his dad's
oh
company.
no,
and
no,
Sometimes when
don't
you're-
even do that.
Vince wanted his dad's
no,
company,
no,
and then
no,
Vince could have
no.
bought his dad's
Well,
company in 2 seconds.
well, he wanted his
Vince
talent.
did buy his dad's company
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Mhm.
Nobody in the 90s, nobody in the mid 90s had Vince's ear more than Sean.
Absolutely, I agree.
Nobody screwed over more people in the 90s than Sean.
I agree.
Sometimes you're just an asshole.
I agree.
Ask
Look,
Dean
I'm-
Doug- ask Dean Douglas.
I'm not saying he's an asshole.
Let's stop for a minute. It's okay to like the asshole. If you
Sure.
like the asshole,
Yeah.
that's fine.
You don't have to defend him. You just like, yeah, I like.
He's an asshole. I like him.
I liked
Yeah.
him too, but he was.
He was a
probably-
great wrestler.
I didn't like
Nobody's disparaging him as a wrestler.
He was
Yeah.
the only heel even as a young wrestling fan. He was the only heel I never liked,
Oh,
Really?
even
Wow.
as a heel.
Yeah.
I never
Sean,
liked
you're
him.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never liked him either.
Yeah, just
was-
never. He just
He
rubbed
made
me
my
the
skin
wrong.
crawl. So
Yep, whether a good guy or a bad guy or a heel or a baby face, I never liked him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
I didn't think. I won't say he wasn't a great wrestler because he was.
Yeah.
but
One
I
of the
never
greatest.
liked Shawn
One of the
Michaels.
greatest.
I'd never liked him as a face or as a
Nope.
bad guy because he just seemed like a legitimate jerk off.
Wait,
Even
what?
when
He
even
really
when-
came
I mean, he
across.
was.
even when DX was starting, it was starting to get huge. I'm like, I love Hunter, but I don't like you, Sean. Like, I still don't like
Oh,
you.
see, I always like Sean.
Yeah.
No, so much talent. Yeah.
Even when they put Cherry with him, and I love Cherry,
I like
and I
that. Oh, I
still
love that.
That was
hated
good.
Shawn Michaels.
Actually, I just watched the Jannetty Sherry match at Rumble,
Oh,
Yeah,
93 Rumble.
93 Rumble, or 90, 95,
93.
No, 95 he's world champion.
95 he wins the Rumble.
What's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one that
yeah.
everyone says is the best Rumble?
92.
92.
It was
Ric
93.
Flair.
That it was 93.
92 was when we was in the Sean was in the Rumble, but Flair won it.
Yeah, Sean was in the 92 Rumble.
Sean
Yeah.
would tell you his best one is the 95 when him and Bulldog all the way. Isn't that 95?
Yeah, it's 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went 95 on the what 96.
95 was
there,
an
there was
awful
there was 2 years where he went back to back.
95, 96, he won it back
Yeah.
to back.
Because then 96 he wins the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back to Backlund.
See, I told you there's
Good
not much to
segue.
say about Bob Backlund's 5-year world title run.
Easy. I could talk for years about that run.
What's your favorite match out of that run?
Well, Valentine where he got knocked out of the cage.
See?
I love those
Yeah.
matches against Pat Patterson. Were awesome.
He had some big matches with Peter Maivia, George Animal Steel, Ken Patera, Ivan Koloff.
None better than Pat Patterson though. Those
And
matches were
I
incredible.
think though, you're not a huge like Matt technician style fan,
Oh, I
right?
can't stand it.
So that like he's just
Yeah.
not up your alley at
But
all.
then Bret Hart was good. But Bret, if you have enough charisma like Bryan Danielson, very good.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say charisma and say Bret Hart in the same
No,
sentence. I almost fucking had a heart attack.
Brett has some charisma, but not as much as Bryan Danielson.
when he was a heel, Bret Hart was great on the
Bret,
mic.
Bret Hart had great charisma when he was trying not to have like when he was like trying not to. He was trying to play
I'm
a
gonna
heel.
blow your mind with something. Bret Hart is a better promo than Shawn Michaels.
I agree.
I disagree.
Shawn Michaels had charisma in the ring. Bret Hart is a better promo than Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is one of the most overrated promo guys in the history of
The
wrestling.
only time that Bret was even remotely interesting on mic for me is when he meant it because he hated Sean.
Well, he didn't cut many promos when he was.
He was great in
World
WCW,
champion.
the El Dandy promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch WCW, so for me that was it. Yeah.
So the one thing about Backlund's 5-year run, though, business wasn't as good as it was under Bruno. And I mean, you're replacing Michael Jordan at this point. You're replacing.
Yeah, it was a downtime.
Well, you're also saying at this time what him, Pat Patterson, Valentine, like you're going from like fucking Bruno Sammartino to now these fucking like blue, like these whiter than white boys who look like they're not Bruno Sammartino.
No, but they still had Ken Patera, John Studd, and I mean, Backlund beat everyone They have George Steele.
No, that's
Yeah, that's a shitty time. I mean, listen, right now, like, okay, they're all legends, but like, fuck me.
Everybody,
Yeah, wrestling was different then.
Everybody
Yeah.
loves the wrestling they grew up on.
Yeah.
I mean, wrestling was different then.
Like there's people going to look back like, oh, remember Randy Orton? He was so good.
Yeah.
Remember when he wrestled John Cena for 12 straight pay-per-views?
Yeah, I guess because like all the names that you just said are all the guys who were like my jobbers when I first started, like Hammer Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
and, you know.
Well, he's never really a jobber.
I never liked him.
And they
he was
used
awesome.
to load up the cards too for Backlund. They would put like Graham on the card, on the undercard. They would bring in Inoki. They would bring back Bruno. They did a lot of smoke and mirrors on the undercard to try to juice up houses. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Johnny
it worked.
Valiant.
The Boogie Woogie Man. Yeah.
No,
Or
no,
yeah, that's Jimmy.
That's
Valiant.
Jimmy. Johnny, though.
Luscious Johnny.
Johnny got a shot at the card and against Bob Backlund. Well, they were the Valiant brothers. They were the tag team champions of that time. So,
But in 1982, things are changing. The tide is changing, and Vincent K. McMahon, the younger Vince McMahon, buys Capital Wrestling, the parent company of the WWF, from Vincent J, his father, and from his partners Gorilla Monsoon, Arnold Scullin, and Phil Zacco.
Phil Zacco.
They'd always, if you ever watched the old All-Star Wrestling, that Joe McHugh, promoted by Phil Zacco.
and I'm your ring announcer for All Star Wrestling, Joe McHugh.
They would never let that guy on TV now.
He was great, though.
It's amazing.
It was great.
Great.
Your ringside physician,
Dr.
Dr.
George Siharian.
the Third.
At the candies.
Yeah, the candies.
The candies.
We still try to find that place in Hamburg where George handed out his candies.
They're still there underneath the bleachers.
Way out of date.
With
Is that the
with
Hannibal
Mel's
back
hat. With Mel's hat that Terry Funk took off.
Mel's hat and a bunch of socks.
I spent a lot of time behind those bleachers setting cameras and stuff up. There's a possibility to find anything back there.
There's a lot of history.
Some
There.
Winstrol
there
back
is.
there. So Vince buys the company and he's going to pay off the cost of the company in these monthly payments. But the payments are like basically just have to take a little bit out of what you're making that month from the WWF and you're going to pay it.
So was Backlund ever in Hamburg?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he was the one
That's
that
where most
we
of the
posted
tapings
that
were, right?
thing.
Yeah.
I think.
Hamburg and Allentown. Where they
Yeah,
take-
and he was here. It wasn't. Didn't we post that thing I sent you?
Ashland.
Yeah, in Ashland.
Yeah,
I did.
Ashland. He wrestled in Ashland. Hazelton, probably at the gym up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, they used to run this area a lot. It wasn't a nationwide territory when Backlund was a champion. They ran from basically Washington D.C. up to like New Hampshire.
Wow.
So,
it was
The
basically
Northeast.
then.
Yeah, it was
That's
the Northeast. That's
but yeah, Backlund when they were taping at the Fieldhouse, that was Backlund's run for the most part. When they were
It'd be interesting if you're listening, Legends of Hamburg Fieldhouse attendees. I know Ryan Vox is always listening.
Mhm.
Bob Backlund would be a cool guy to get
I'm
for
sure
next
he was
year
probably on the list.
Yeah, you know?
for him to
he
kind
might
of
have
come
still
back.
been a little
Yeah.
iffy on COVID.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe you had a prior engagement that day.
It'd be a cool name to get in the list just to see him. Like that was kind of my favorite thing about that day because we got there early and we got to see people coming in and just kind of like watch people come in and just like look around and be like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember this place.
That was and then like when Earl was there
Mhm.
and Earl walked in and then Dr. Frank walked
That
in.
wasn't that night. That was
a different
later.
night, but
Yeah.
just the building itself, like
Yeah.
Earl was like, oh shit, like Hamburg, and then when he sees Dr. Frankie, like it was a cool moment, like
Yeah,
to see like
and
old
that
friends.
and also that night, I remember after they did the big meeting in the locker room and everything, and then after that, I was talking for a second to Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and like that locker room we were just in, that's where that Snuka got hit with a coconut, right? He's like, no, really? He was like super excited about it.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Yeah, there and Earl was amazing. Earl will be back in for PPW.
Yeah, in February.
In February, yeah, February 12th, I believe.
Is he calling a match or just hanging out?
I think
didn't
he's there
say.
for it's. I know he's there with like KNH KH promotion, so he might just be there for meet and greets and everything. But yeah, Earl will be at not this upcoming show this weekend, but the one after.
Yeah, that's the one with Cross.
yeah,
Killer Cross, Chelsea Green, Jordan Oliver, I think are the big names so far. Davey Richards will be coming back on that one.
Yeah.
But back to Bob Backlund, Vincent K. McMahon, the Vince McMahon we know is buying the company at this point. And so there is there's a sea change coming, and they pull out of the NWA. They start trying to get TV nationally, not just in their New York, New Jersey markets. And that means that there's going to be a new champion, because if you're trying to get a nationwide audience and you're trying to especially attract kids and things like that, Bob Backlund's not the guy.
Not that flashiest.
And even the people, even their Northeast stronghold, like people are starting to get a little sick of him. They're chanting "Howdy Doody" at him, because that's what the Grand Wizard used to like make fun of him, calling him "Howdy Doody" because he had red hair.
And it was the 5th year of him being champion, so I could see a little bit.
It's run its course, and Vince is rating everybody, and especially the AWA, and the big prize he gets from the AWA, fresh out of Rocky III, is Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
So when they debut Hulk Hogan, they debut him right after the end of Backlund's first title reign, which is when he loses on December 26, 1983 to the Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik used to do these like workout clubs. You would like swing up in the air, these big clubs.
Oh, there's a name for them. I just forget what they are.
And he beat Backlund with one of them. And Backlund was supposed to be coming into this match hurt. And Sheik gets him in the camel clutch and he still won't give up. So they gave Backlund that hero's exit. Like he's hurt. He's coming in hurt because the Sheik hurt him. And he's in this devastating submission, but he still won't give up. And then Arnold Scullin, his longtime manager, throws in the towel. And that's the end for Bob Backlund.
Didn't they create that with
somebody else?
Tommy Dreamer, where they just beat him with a fucking kendo stick over and over.
Oh no, that was he lost a match where he got to get hit with it.
Yeah,
and he'd be like,
but he wouldn't give up. Like he wouldn't stop.
He did the thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah,
Sam just kept wailing on him.
Yeah,
Bret Hart, Steve Austin, Mania.
Yeah,
double switch match.
Yeah, Austin just passes out and Shamrock calls it. Backlund, Bret Hart. We will get to there. We are going to get there, and so Backlund, right after losing the title, they do a match, and I looked it up, and this is, I think, in Allentown, not Hamburg. But they do a TV match on, I think, Championship Wrestling, where it's Bob Backlund against Samula, who will go on to be
Samu.
Head Shrinker Samu, Samoan SWAT Team Samu, still around taking bookings, just kick the shit out of cancer. Samu's doing great. And Samula at this point is wrestling Backlund, but then Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, the tag team, the more established guys, because Samu's got to be super young here, super young.
You see the photo Rikishi posted of all of them, like in a backyard.
Yeah,
fucking imagine walking on those, like pissing those guys off in a locker room.
When I said that they had guys who could take care of business if somebody got a little out of hand, I was talking about the Samoans.
Oh yeah, they were
they were the policemen.
Well, what's his fucking Haku was the nicest guy in the locker room.
Yeah.
But
the toughest guy.
But he would fucking kill you.
Peter Maivia was the same guy. So what is happening here is Backlund's trying to wrestle Samula, but Alpha and Sika getting involved. Albano's their manager out there. They're getting involved. So it's basically 4-on-1. Backlund goes to the back and he brings out Hulk Hogan to even the odds. And that is how Hulk Hogan makes his debut. Roller's return. He was a heel a few years before with Blassie, but he brings him back there. And then a few weeks later, that was early January, late January, like 2 or 3 weeks later, he beats the Iron Sheik at the Garden for the WWF title, and we're off to the races with Hulkamania.
Such a fucking good heel, Sheiky. Like,
me and my friend Larry had a long conversation with him. There's a documentary out with him.
He's such a good heel. Like the reason most baby faces become the fucking megastar baby face because he was such a good fucking heel.
He was awesome.
You could have put anybody in that. If Hogan could have beat anybody in that moment.
You know what I think the rumor was, if it wasn't Sheik was going to be, was Mass Superstar.
Really? Oh wow.
Galidi,
I can see that.
You think it would have went over harder?
I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah, really? I don't think it didn't matter.
All due respect to the Sheik, don't think it would have mattered.
They just wanted the belt on Hogan, and it really didn't matter how it got there. As long as Hogan got it, that was the thing.
I got to add something to the topic, though.
Yeah.
I remember reading simultaneously the wrestling magazines at the time, and I remember seeing about Hulk Hogan beat like Nick Bockwinkel right around the same time, like 4 or 5 straight shows in Minneapolis somewhere, and but never won the title.
They would do
like
the dusty finish.
Exactly. And then my first prediction as a kid, as a wrestling fan, was they said that Bob Backlund was going to have a backup or a mystery tag team partner or a mystery helper at the time. And I just remember from the magazines that I would read, knowing that they were off time, even as a young kid, I was like, all right, well, this is probably like 6 or 7 weeks ago. He's probably gone by now. I'm going to guess Hulk Hogan comes back as Bob Backlund's tag team partner, his backup, and he did. I was like,
and there it is.
I've been predicting stuff ever since. True story before the internet, obviously.
And so Backlund does stick around for a little bit. He would like lower on the card. He did some matches where he beat Sheik. He got his win back on the Sheik. And he was there until July of '84. So he was there for about another 6 months after he dropped the title or after Hogan won the title. He did a New Japan tour. He did a lot with AWA. They tried to do this once it became clear what Vince was doing. He was trying to take everybody out. Everybody tried to come together, like Vern and Crockett and Watts and all these people. They did this thing called Pro Wrestling USA, but there were so many egos involved where Vince was just the one guy who had one ego as opposed to 5 that were trying to fight against each other. And so it didn't really get off the ground. But one of the shows they did, Rick Martel beat Bob Backlund for the AWA title. Rick Martel was the reigning champion at the time. But by mid-1985, Bob Backlund's largely gone. It was like, where'd Bob Backlund go? Whatever happened to that guy? He was champion for like 5 years, and then he was like, and he was working as like a wrestling coach for high schools and little colleges and things like that.
Wow.
He did a few comebacks. He did some stuff in Japan for UWFI, which is like a shoot style promotion, kind of portraying it as MMA, even though it was still work.
Yeah.
And then he did show up in the UWF, the Herb Abrams UWF, if you remember Dark Side of the Ring. He was there.
It's crazy how like as a movie, the wrestler, like you think like Bob Backlund went from a 5-year champion selling out Madison Square Garden, and then he's just wrestling. He's a high school wrestling coach.
Yeah,
the
but the thing that never happened with Bob Backlund is he never had that like, oh man, Bob Backlund's doing bad.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He never got like addicted to drugs.
Clean living,
But
he was a true All-American boy.
Yeah,
but
He really was.
it is a huge change to go from selling out thousands of seats to
he always came off, and I don't know Bob Backlund. I've never met the man, but he always came off as a guy who was very grounded and very
like maybe he wanted to be a high school coach.
yeah.
I met him in person, and
he didn't
he
care.
was awesome.
I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, he was super nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
But he was at a time where now wrestling's starting to be flashy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
He didn't have no pizzazz.
So-
he was not rock and wrestling.
So
it was almost
he didn't stand out.
He was
in a
big
weird way. It
band
was
in
kind of
wrestling.
like superstar Billy Graham was the man right then. It was just he was just at the end of that era. He
Yeah.
just
If he
missed
was
the
like-
cutoff where
What's
Hogan.
happened?
What's that?
Be careful tapping on the.
Sorry,
It comes through. You go ahead.
it's just kind of like when Hogan came in and took over. It was just a different time period.
Yeah.
Like Billy Graham would have fit perfectly in 1985 wrestling.
Yeah.
Bob Backlund would have fit perfectly in 1965 wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And-
Honestly, do you think time machine? You take Bob Backlund, put him in today's time.
I don't know how good he was.
Bob Backlund,
he really was good.
70s Bob Backlund right now, people are like, well, he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But if you take 90s Bob Backlund, he's crazy. That would get over.
So you give him his gimmick from the 90s, but his skill from the 70s, you put him in today's time.
You do all right.
yeah, he do good. Yeah, I don't know if he's a world champion, but
Probably not.
Yeah.
He Universal Champion.
Oh no, he wouldn't be. I don't think WWE would be the place for him.
yeah.
Sounds.
He maybe had like a
he-
wild gimmick.
He
on
was
the
always in great
indie-
shape, but he was never like a muscle guy. And Vince likes the muscle guys.
I'm just saying, there's a guy that we just say is like one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, and he
You know,
seems
we
very
kinda-
similar to his style.
Randy Orton.
Daniel Bryan, just
Daniel
a
Bryan.
mat wrestler
Daniel
technician.
Bryan is way better than Bob.
Daniel
Backlund.
Bryan is light years
But again,
ahead of.
it's
Bob
a different
Backlund-
era. It's a different era, though. I
Right.
mean, what
Bob
what
Backlund would be
Bryan does.
more of like a Daniel Garcia type, I think.
Okay,
Daniel
which is not a
Garcia.
bad thing
Yeah.
to say.
Daniel Garcia, Jonathan Gresham.
You see guys jumping off
somebody like
cages,
that.
and then you see a guy like Daniel Bryan who's just going to mostly wrestle you to the mat,
Yeah.
stomp you, do all like
But he-
that could be boring to people.
I think if Bob Backlund were around now, he might be in like New Japan Strong.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see
Like
that.
that.
Yeah.
He could be like a Clark Connors or one of those guys. But he does come back to the WWF in 1992. So he kind of bookends Hulk Hogan's run. Like he's leaving as Hulkamania is starting. When Hogan's leaving WWF, he's coming back.
Mhm.
It's a pretty nice bookend there. And his first big thing is in the beginning of 1993. He's in the 93 Royal Rumble. He's number 2. Number 1 is Ric Flair. Number 2 is Bob Backlund. And Bob Backlund's still there around the end. That's the Rumble that Yokozuna won. But Backlund was in there for 61 minutes.
Yeah, and he
At-
has his old gimmick. He's an all-American.
Yeah, just the All-American boy. I'm
the Harvard step test.
the Harvard step test. I'm wearing my blue trunks. I'm just going to wrestle.
Yeah.
And he, at the time, even though Flair won the Rumble from 3 the year before, he beat Flair's record as far as time in the Rumble. And if you don't count that greatest Royal Rumble, it had like 50 people.
Yeah, that don't count.
If you don't count that one, just the ones that are called the Royal Rumble, even the one where they had 40 guys. At this point, Backlund in 93 is still the 3rd longest time anybody was ever in the
Wow.
Rumble.
Ryan Vox just gave us some breaking news. Remember that guy we talked about, Speedball?
Yeah.
Just showed up on Impact.
Oh, Mike
Oh,
Bailey?
good for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for him. And yeah, I know Charlie Haas showed up, but he was hurt, but he says he's okay.
Oh, that's good.
Charlie Haas showed up at the last
He had a
taping.
good interview recently on Chris Van Fleet. Charlie Haas. Learned a lot about him.
Yeah, I think as far as the Rumble, the longest is Ray when he was number 2, and I think the second longest was like Triple H at one point. Might have been that same Rumble because he was like one of the last guys out.
No, you say length, like the length of the actual.
Oh
Rumble
no,
itself.
I take that back.
Sean went and won twice, right?
That was a short
And
Rumble.
Flair-
Like
He won from number 1 the year that the Rumble was like only like a half hour, and
Yeah.
like 35 minutes long. Number 1 is Ray from when he won from number 2. The guy who has the second longest run in the Rumble does not exist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
So
nobody won the Royal Rumble in 2004, but if somebody would have won it, they would have won it from number 1 and then
Went to WrestleMania.
went to WrestleMania, and then Shawn Michaels and Triple H wrestled at WrestleMania that year, and nobody won.
Yeah. And then nobody celebrated with Eddie Guerrero
Yeah.
when they won.
Mm.
When they didn't win.
So that happened.
Daniel Bryan had a long time in the Rumble that one year.
Yeah, it was the greatest.
That was the greatest
That's
Rumble.
kind of like, does it count?
It does.
Yeah.
And
how
I
long
don't
was
count.
Flair in when he won?
Like 58 minutes.
Yeah, so
What's your
close.
record? 30.
35 or something like that.
You had a stopwatch, didn't you?
Yeah. forget.
Our
Oh,
times are different though. My stopwatch got messed up.
Wow. You broke your record. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Well, I did it once, so I didn't.
Yeah. But you broke your record coming into that Rumble.
Well, I didn't have a record. before that.
You did. Your
You
record.
gave us a time. Like this is
you
my
said
time.
you said the longest ever been a Rumble was this
Oh,
time.
yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, that one in Jersey. Oh my god.
Mhm. I think.
So you actually had 2, but you were only remembering
Yeah,
one.
I forgot. I just lots of stuff.
So you
I
had like
forget.
39 minutes or something like that. Like you broke it.
Yeah, whatever it was. It was
Yeah.
a couple more minutes. Yeah.
So now the Rumble comes up. PPW. You got to go 40.
But then there was that other one too.
Were you in the one for GSW when they brought it back? Or were we just in the tag match?
No, he was just in the.
Yeah,
tag
it was.
match.
Yeah, it was. But
Were you?
I wasn't in that real long. Though.
That was
Oh.
that was
I came
a-
in. It came in near the end.
That's
And
right.
there was only like 20 people in there.
Yeah, that was. And I think that.
And then there was that one they did for PPW where it was like they brought people in waves.
Yeah, that one. I was. Then I was in like. the
We were Final
last
Four in
wave.
that one,
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I
I don't
know
like the wave.
I don't like the wave thing either.
But that show was so packed.
Yeah, that had to be in waves.
Yeah.
That wasn't originally going to be waves, but it was so.
We would
much
have
on the
been there until
roster.
2 in the
Yeah,
morning.
Yeah.
that's the only thing with AEW, like when they do their Joker
Casino
Battle
Battle Royal.
Royal or Casino Battle Royal, like the Joker's exciting because it's like that's your only time where you're like, who is it?
Yeah.
But everything else, like there's no
Oh, it's
anticipation
5
of who
people.
the
It's like, and then it's like, who are they cheering for? We don't know. And
yeah,
I-
it's tough. I love the idea. Like I don't know, the Royal Rumble is just such a special thing, and I love it.
Mhm.
It's such a good. I don't know.
So when Backlund comes back in 92, is that big thing in the Rumble in 93, but then it kind of just fizzles out. He lost to Razor Ramon at WrestleMania that year, and then he wasn't really doing a lot. He would be on TV a little bit, a lot of house show matches. He lost the King of the Ring qualifying match to Lex Luger for the 93 King of the Ring.
He ran for president.
That was later.
Oh.
In 1994, he's going to have a match on Superstars with Bret Hart. Bret Hart's your world champion, and Bret Hart beats Bob Backlund. But then Bob Backlund goes nuts and attacks Bret Hart afterward, puts him in the crossface chicken wing, and it hurts Bret, like goes crazy. What happened to the All-American boy? He snapped. He's staring at his hands. I don't know how true this is. The rumor is that when they first did this, the whole story was going to be that he had a curse put on him by Papa Shango, who was coming back.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been cool.
I should have did it.
But something crazy happened. The character got really over.
Yeah.
It got really over because he put one of the WWF magazine guys, Luigi and Fredo, in the chicken wing. He put Arnold Skaaland in the chicken wing, and he's just going nuts. And he's like the most over heel in the company now, and more over than Shawn Michaels. And it all leads to a rematch with Bret at Survivor Series 94 submission match, but it's not like an I Quit match. It's a throw in the towel match. You have Owen Hart, who was feuding with Bret, is in Backlund's corner, and he has just a plain white towel. And then the British Bulldog, Bret Hart's best friend, and his brother-in-law is in Bret's corner. So like a pink and black Hitman
Yeah,
towel.
of
And it's so
course.
cool. And the whole thing is like you only win if your corner guy throws in the towel. And something happens where Bulldog's chasing Owen around. He trips and he just hits into the steps. And the British Bulldog is dead. He's just out for like 20 minutes. He died before he died.
It's like a ref bump.
Yeah. It was like 3 ref bumps back to back. And then Stu Hart grabs the towel because Stu Hart, Bret's dad, is in there. And Backlund gets Bret in the chicken wing. He's in the chicken wing for like 15 minutes. He's in the chicken wing forever. And just Bret, everybody's pleading. Owen Hart is like, it's my brother. I love him. I know we're doing this thing. Like, I please, Dad, throw in the towel. And Stu's like, and that good at throwing the towel.
He dies.
Helen's crying.
He
and-
wouldn't give up. I'm not gonna throw in the towel. and Owen's just pleading. And
Jerry Lawler.
So
if Jerry
great.
Lawler was there, he was probably making fun of Stu and Helen.
no, this would have been
Yeah.
Lawler wrestled in that show, so I don't know who
Okay,
the
yeah,
announcer
yeah.
was. And now what did
Roddy Piper.
was it Roddy?
Wait, what was it? What was it?
94.
94.
It was probably DiBiase. I'm gonna guess DiBiase or Mr. Perfect. It was actually
No, it's probably perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
McMahon.
And wasn't it Helen grabbed the towel? I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember the finish.
the two of them were
Yeah.
arguing back, and Owen was trying to get Helen to convince Stu.
Yeah, then Helen finally rips the towel out and throws it in, and Backlund's your new world champion. And immediately, Owen Hart's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I fooled you." And Owen was so great
My
in that.
favorite all-time match in the history of being a pro wrestling fan since early 79 was that match right there.
And so Bob Backlund wins the title at Survivor Series. I think that's when they're still doing it on Thanksgiving Eve. It was like a Wednesday. And that Friday, he wrestles the British Bulldog in Pittsburgh and loses by DQ or count out, but he retains the title. And then the next night, Madison Square Garden is Bob Backlund against Diesel. Tony, have you ever seen this match?
Yes. Yeah. I don't remember much about it, but I do remember.
There's not much to remember.
Yeah, it was.
Ding, ding.
It was a squash.
Big boot. Power bomb. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Kick to the gut, power
Oh
bomb.
yeah,
1, 2,
sorry, I
3.
forgot one move.
That hurt me.
No,
it was like
it was a medium boot. It was
Yeah.
a medium
Like
boot.
a
The kick to
shot.
the stomach. And before Raw even comes back on, Diesel is your new world champion, and the WWF is running on Diesel power.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, baby.
So Bob Backlund keeps on feuding with Bret Hart. They do an I Quit match, a real one. Well, it was supposed to. You have to say I Quit, but Backlund didn't say it. And he's just a crazy old man. Now I forgot to put on the page, but that was when he did that promo where he was yelling about how I've never eaten marijuana.
You
Yes.
marijuana eating plebeians.
He was calling everybody
His
plebeians.
promos were great.
Oh, he was he was
awesome.
If he would have
unhinged.
had that back in the day, man.
And he starts wearing a
for 10
suit.
years.
He starts wearing a suit everywhere and a bow tie, even if it's like the summer he's on the beach.
Well,
he's in
he
a
still
bow tie.
kind of does the crazy
He
man
does,
thing, right?
yeah.
Like when they did have him on the TV show, they were like,
Apparently, that was Bob turned up to 11.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Whoa!
Like when he went to Impact.
Sheep herder
they
Lou.
said
yeah.
And so the match with the I Quit match with Piper or with Bret Hart, probably Bret Hart's worst WrestleMania match as a singles. Because he just built everything around submissions, and every 5 seconds, Piper's in there. What do you say? What do you say? And they don't even get the ending because he doesn't say I quit. He just goes, yeah.
And this is before MMA was big, so there was no tapping out.
No, you
Yeah.
had to say
Yeah.
an I quit match meant you had to say I quit.
Say
You
uncle.
had to say the word.
Or the referee, like they would say, like he's quitting, and they give they do this.
But Piper was like ramming the microphone in their face, and instead of saying I quit, he just goes,
say I quit there.
"Oh, do you quit? Do you quit, Bob?"
There's times in like I watched just go back to the Marty and Sean thing. Sean has Marty in a fucking submission, and Marty's literally banging on the mat.
It did. Well, that's how you show before the tap out there. That's how you showed
Yeah,
you were in
and
pain.
I was like,
Yeah.
he's tapping, but that was like that's
Yeah.
how you
Yeah,
sold the
it
submission.
didn't exist until
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock came to WWE.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about that WrestleMania, that was WrestleMania 11. They had all those celebrities, and there was a thing backstage where Bob Backlund was in an intense game of chess with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
From Home Improvement.
I forgot all about that.
So that was kind of he did some house show stuff. He got after he lost to Brett, he went way down the card. He would lose to like Savio Vega.
Oh,
He was in a feud with Man Mountain Rock because rock music was an evil influence on the children. And so he would do matches.
I had his action figure, his new like the one he had during that run.
Man Mountain Rock or Bob Backlund?
No, Bob
I was gonna say-
Backlund. Yeah, Bob
He had a
Backlund's.
Hasbro?
The
Oh, the little one?
the
hard plastic?
no, it was the
That would have been a later one. That would have
Yeah.
been like a reissue.
The stretch one.
I don't know. He had one where it's like the I could have sworn I had one. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll look it up.
And so as 95 goes into 96, we have a presidential election coming up at that point. Bill Clinton's going to be running against Bob Dole.
Bob Dole.
Hi, it's my.
So Bob Backlund says on WWF television, I'm running for president of the United States. And they made like Mr. Backlund for president buttons and things like that.
If I'm president, kids will go to school on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, boo! I hate you, Bob Backlund.
Maybe I didn't have Bob Backlund.
I'm sure there was a Bob Backlund elite.
Yeah, I
But
think
that
like
was probably
I
years
think like
later.
either Jax or Mattel would have done one, but I don't think he had a Hasbro.
Yeah, I didn't have one. I
So-
thought I did.
So that's kind of the end of Bob Backlund as a full-time wrestler. He did a few matches in Japan. He would come in sporadically later on. He was in the 2000 Royal Rumble as a surprise appearance. So was Piper. Right after that, he did a thing where he teamed with Kurt Angle. They lost to Chris Jericho and Taz on a SmackDown. Yeah, he actually did a few matches in New Japan in 2001.
Wow.
And it's so funny that
Who did he wrestle, like Chono?
I don't know. It's so funny when we think about Bob Backlund coming back when he won the title. Like he was so old at that
Yeah.
point.
With the best title too.
The Eagle, yeah.
My favorite
Yeah,
title.
yeah.
Yeah.
When he won the title, he was I think 40. It was 49. So he was like 45 years old. When he won the title from Brett, he was 1 year older than AJ Styles is now,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
and about
That's something.
yeah.
6 years younger than Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He was the same age as Jericho when he went in the Rumble in
Yeah.
2000. Same age
15
as
years
Jericho.
younger than Sting.
Yeah.
He's getting in the ring this weekend.
He's not.
He's not.
I don't think he'll be
He's
getting
gonna beat you up.
because now he's 70.
He might throw Andy in the chicken wing.
Yeah, he's-
I bet,
still do
he's
it.
still in wrestling shape.
You're.
Oh yeah, he's probably in good
He's
shape.
probably an
Remember
amazing.
he used to say,
I'm gonna say that guy over there said you suck on the
He-
podcast.
yeah,
He's gonna throw
he
it out.
goes, what the hell's a podcast?
He might-
Um,
he's like, fuck your
But
podcast.
he drinks ground up carrots and something else because it was the closest thing to consistency of human blood. But we'll get there when he's in TNA.
Oh yeah, he did have 2 matches in TNA. He beat Alex Shelley at Slammiversary
Yeah, and
2007.
he was just really crazy.
Yeah, crazy back. After that, he's just crazy Bob Backlund. Anytime he showed up, he ran for Congress for real in 2001. I want to say 2000. No, 2002. He was legitimately running for Congress in Connecticut, but he was a Republican in the heavily Democratic area and he didn't win.
Hmm.
And then he
It's fixed.
it was voter fraud.
It was rigged.
Well, anytime the Democrat wins an election, it's voter fraud.
Yeah.
We know this.
Especially if it's Bob Backlund involved.
Of course.
He didn't
voted
want,
for him.
people didn't want those kids to go to school on Saturday.
Exactly.
Or eat marijuana.
Well, no, he was against eating marijuana.
Yeah.
There's better ways to it.
Listen. Never mind. Eating marijuana is terrifying. Edible versions of marijuana is the scariest thing on the planet.
Probably not edible for Bob Backlund. Like you take the
Oh,
plant,
yeah.
just put it in your mouth.
Oh,
He would chew it like they would chew the cacao leaf in
Yeah.
South
Yes.
America.
I thought I was gonna die in an Applebee's.
His other match,
You have to say
anytime
the
I've been
story
with
out
Applebee's,
there.
I thought I was going to die.
Oh,
I've been in, I think once or twice.
Applebee's.
Yeah.
I think 3 times for me.
yeah, going to Applebee's.
No,
with
I've
edibles in their
I've
system.
been in more than I
The,
can count.
the
and I
last
don't
time
like
I was
it,
at an
so-
Applebee's, I thought I was going to die going to the Applebee's.
Oh boy.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
We were going back from Cheeseburger's gym, and we were driving to Applebee's, and we got caught in a monsoon. Not a gorilla monsoon, like an actual downpour.
It was one of the only times in my life where I was driving a car and I go, I can't see.
We pulled over. For
I
like
pulled-
10 minutes.
wall of
I
water.
pulled over. I was like, I hope I'm off the road.
Yeah. It just
And not too far off the road either.
Yeah, and it was just, and the lightning was like it was
Oh my
daylight.
God.
It was that frequent. I think it was tornadoes hitting and stuff too.
excuse me,
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So the other match he had in TNA at that point was he teamed with Jerry Lynn and lost to the Motor City Machine Guns at Victory Road.
Holy shit! Bob Backlund wrestled the motor machine guns.
And his final
He had
match,
them beat too.
his final match, major
In your
match.
eyes, Jeff, he
Yeah.
had them beat.
Every match he had him.
He had him on the ropes.
His final major match comes in December 2007 for the 15th anniversary special of Raw. They did a 15th anniversary battle royal, and he comes up short. One of my personal favorites was in that. The Repo Man was in that battle royal, and but IRS won the Rumble, and then Ted DiBiase comes out and bought the victory from IRS, and so Ted DiBiase won that Rumble.
Yeah,
He hands IRS a bunch of money, and IRS just like flows himself
Yeah.
over the top rope thing. But that wasn't the end for Bob Backlund. He did have a match in August of 2011. He beat Ken Patera
What?
at the Juggalo Championship
Oh my
Wrestling
God.
Legends and
Oh my
Icon show
there it
For the
is.
title.
for the title. Yeah,
For the
all
Juggalo title.
The Juggalo title.
He is the world Juggalo champion.
Bob Backlund and Juggalos. That's
I know.
That
geez.
is
Yeah.
I wonder if they painted his face that day.
That's
Probably not.
that's like wheatgrass
That'd be
and meth.
insane.
I know. Like,
wheatgrass.
There's a lot of marijuana eating in front of him that
like
day.
you can see
Yeah.
the Juggalos and deathmatch people. You'd be like, okay, but Bob Backlund versus Ken.
I should have said
Patera?
wheatgrass and Fago. That would have been a better
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah,
And then 2 final matches at the age of 68. He wrestled in 2018. These
Wow.
were some
So
legend
maybe
shows
he will
he's had.
wrestle you on
Definitely.
Saturday.
You're in
Definitely
trouble, Andy.
wrestling
Yeah.
on
I'm
Saturday.
gonna kick your ass.
Fox Vineyard, he's gonna, oh, my knee's acting up.
Yeah.
I need a replacement. And then Bob Backlund's gonna come out and whip your ass.
To no music.
To no music.
No,
No
to Hail to
music.
the Chief. Hail to the Chief will come out. That was the only music ever really came out.
We're
to.
gonna sing it. Whole place.
Because
There's
when
no
he was
lyrics.
when he was heel and when he won the
They're
World Title
humming.
WWE, he had no music.
Yeah.
And then he was the only person to have no music, so it was special, like when the Dudley Boys
Yeah.
did it in ECW.
And then I would hell before that.
Yeah, but remember
Yeah.
when they
Then when their
the
heels
heel
just
one, yeah.
argue with the crowd for 20 minutes. His 2 final matches, he teamed with Riki Choshu and Tatsumi Fujinami again in 2018
Yeah, what are they doing wrestling in 2018?
to beat Jinsei Shinzaki, Kazuma Sakamoto, and Tajiri.
Wow.
And then his final match ever, he teamed up with Hiro Saito, again, what are these people doing wrestling, and Yoshiaki Fujiwara to lose to Choshu Fujinami and Masakatsu Funaki.
Wow.
Total combined age 1,000
Yeah.
years old.
It was the Methuselah match.
Yeah. And they all probably look like they're still 22.
But as we brought up, he's still doing some stuff. He will be at the Pocono Slam Fest. The
Yeah,
reason we're
so-
talking about this.
So we're gonna. Is there anything else you want to wrap up, Bob? And then I'll go through.
That was us wrapping up, Bob.
All right. So the convention hours are gonna go from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Your ticket admission will be $10.
And it is this Saturday. the
Yep,
15th,
this
right?
Saturday.
15th of January.
At the Signature Training Academy, 137 Aaron Lane, Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania.
You see the CVS when you're on the highway, you turn and go toward the
Yep.
CVS.
Yeah.
We're right down the road.
After there's a little bit of a gap between the convention than the actual show.
Unless you are a wrestler, because in that gap, they are doing a D'Lo Brown seminar.
Oh, yeah.
They are not.
Oh, they're not.
Well, yeah, we'll
my
get
bad.
into that.
Oh, okay.
So I want to go through some names here that will be there.
Mhm.
Diana Perazzo will be
The
there.
Virtuosa, the AAA Reina de Reyes champion, the women's champion of AAA.
I'm just going to kind of go through the PPW's Facebook thing. And then we have a match also at the convention. And
I have them separate if you want to do them separate here.
well, there's some changes that I
You
was
can
just sent
correct
to
me
me.
as
Yeah. Alexander Hammerstone versus Mike Orlando is the first match announced. So Alexander Hammerstone, MLW's world champion.
That'll be on the show, though. There's
Yep.
no matches at the
yeah,
top.
I was trying to do the convention then the show.
Yeah.
It's a little more
Um,
clear if you do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say do the convention.
Let's,
You want to stop me if these people have pulled out here.
Impact Wrestling, VSK will be there. Bob Backlund, we just said will be there.
Lance Archer.
Not going to be there.
Oh my God.
No,
Let me just run. I have a very organized list
Go
here.
ahead,
If I say somebody that's not going to be there, just say not there.
just him and D'Lo pulled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kurt Angle will be there.
Yep.
Bob Backlund,
Mhm.
Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. Diana Perazzo, as we said, Mercedes Martinez,
Newly
Uh,
signed AEW.
Yeah.
not Lance Archer.
Yeah.
MLW World Champion Alexander Hammerstone will be there. Heath Slater will be there.
Mhm.
Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis will be there. The Sandman, the ECW icon, the Sandman. Richard Holiday, the AirPod God, also MLW, I think. Snitsky, not his fault that we're going to have a snowstorm later in the weekend. Santana Garrett, fresh from NXT. Maven, the first winner of Tough Enough. Maven will be there.
Eliminate the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Royal
Took
Rumble.
the words right out of my mouth.
Hosted a show on the Home Shopping Network.
Really? I didn't know
see
that.
those, yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Um,
Shopping with Maven.
The winner of the first ever women's Ultimate X match, Tasha Steeles, will be there.
Oh wow.
BSK, as we said. Veda Scott will be there. Alpha Jr., the Samoan Storm, will be there. Andrew Anderson will be there. Jeremy Ambler from The Walking Dead will be there.
Wow, that's
Is he wrestle or?
No,
Yeah, he's going to
He's like
fight.
a little kid, I think.
Is he alive or
Yeah.
is he
He's a zombie.
Walking Dead?
He's going to be
Okay.
a zombie.
Walking Dead's will work.
Okay.
So the New Beginning, 7 p.m. bell time. No seminar. Forget I said that.
There will be a seminar.
Oh, who's doing the
Yeah.
seminar?
So the seminar will also be
Are these things we're supposed to be saying to the public?
yes.
Okay.
So the new seminar will be a
Andy Head.
former
Oh.
WWE former WWE New Japan star, as well as AEW and Impact as their current tag
Raw.
team champion.
I
Wait,
have no
what? What are the
idea.
Impact Tag Team Champions?
Doc Gallows
Oh,
is the
hey
new
there.
replacement for Large Answer,
is he going to be at the convention?
and he
too?
will be doing the seminar,
Is he- and he's gonna be at the-
cool.
and he will be at the convention.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
That's a good get.
We talked about it yesterday or last week because we were talking about Jarrett. We went to that Global Force show they did in Harrisburg in like 2016. Me and my buddy Jack went, his kids. The kids just ran up because they knew about Bullet Club. They just ran up
Yeah.
to Gallows. They didn't even buy anything, and Gallows was so cool to them.
That's cool.
He was cool, and another guy that was super cool then. And we met him at the last PPW show was Black G's. Black G's was
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. And also Ryan Vox, another Impact spoiler. Masha, another 90-second massacre. Just wanna
If
throw
we're going to be spoiling Impact, when I'm plugging Diana Perazzo, she is now also a spoiler. If you are an Impact watcher, you don't want to be spoiled, just ignore what I'm saying for
There's
here
no
for a
one out
second.
there that watches it back that cares.
Diana Perazzo, soon to be the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion.
good for her.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for her. Not that means it.
All right, so matches. We have Mike Orlando versus Hammerstone. Casey versus Mike Bennett.
Casey Navarro.
Casey Navarro versus
Also
Mike
will
Bennett.
be at the Pocono Slam Fest.
Yep,
Casey
who
Navarro.
MLW signed. Is that Bro Keller Andrade versus VSK and Rich Holiday?
It's a
Action Andrade.
Action Andrade.
it's a that's the title match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
Rich Holiday was just added to the
officially okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's going to be Bro Keller defending against Action Andretti, VSK, and Richard Holiday.
South Philly's finest and Sam from the Sambo Show.
Mhm.
Sam
Adams.
Sam Adams versus VS Primal Fear.
Which I thought they were there last month. I'm not familiar with those guys though.
Yeah. Rembrandt versus Slade versus Theory versus Tarzan.
I have the
Versus
full names
Cage.
if you want that.
Go ahead, yeah,
It's,
go.
Wildman Tarzan versus Chris Slade versus Jace Carr versus Trevor Cage versus Timothy Theory versus the defending 10 limits no limits champion.
10 limits.
Hopefully there's a new
Rembrandt.
title. That and the TV title.
Yeah.
There's new ones. They're coming.
There better be a new TV title.
there
to get
better
a certain
be,
winner.
goddammit.
If Fox wins,
Yeah.
just keep
That old one.
Keep that one.
Yeah.
Keep that old one.
Keep it.
We also have my list is going to be a little different because I actually put them in. I try to put them in order of like
How the show would go. How you think it would go.
yeah. Bull Hightower and Bison, who wrestled each other last month, are going to be teaming against Mad Dog and Isaac Rule. Isaac Rule ruined
Yeah.
their match last.
Mhm.
What's
last
their
month.
faction name?
Sins?
Oh, Sins. That's right. Yeah.
We already said SPF and Sam Adams against Primal Fear.
Mhm.
For the PPW TV title, we just brought it up. Serious Business. Andy Header looking to become a two-time PPW
Right.
TV champion. The
Two-time.
WYLN TV title.
I'm sure someone has done it, but I'm just gonna pretend no one did it.
Again,
No one's
How
have
could be the
ever done
first
it.
Two-time champion.
I think Johnny might have done it.
First two-time champion. He doesn't exist no more.
He's dead.
to kind of script from Brock, Johnny who?
I think there's been 3 and 4 times to be honest. But
Yeah.
So
be the
Fo-
best two-time champion.
That's right. Challenging against the no good Fox Vineyard.
You might
also
need
in
some
there.
backup
No
soon
good.
because
That's
you're going
right.
against Fox and he's part of Sins. He's gonna have 100 people out the
Get one of
ringside.
And Backlund.
One of them guys from the.
I have a,
And then you
I
have
have
Bob
a pair
Backlund
of,
coming at you.
I have a pair of copper knuckles if you want them. Yeah.
Look at
They're
Doc
not quite
Gallows
brass,
there.
but-
It's out of him.
I think it needs somebody just be
That's
behind
just-
your back cheering you on a little megaphone, baby.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, but we got beans taters.
He's already beat up Joe Wands.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would think you would possibly. There's a good % chance to see Jimmy Hart in the show, unless he has to leave.
And then we have Deanna Perazzo against Santana Garrett.
That should be really good.
That should be a very good
You
match.
forgot one match. The women's
I
champion.
forgot a bunch of matches.
Oh.
We're not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
We have Alpha Jr. and Heath Slater taking on Team Ruda, Joey Martinez and Vinnie Mac with Mr. Ruda in their corner.
Mhm.
Mhm.
For the PPW women's title, special referee Ali Rex. Danny Moe gets her shot against Adina Steele that she earned last month.
Mhm.
We already mentioned Alexander Hammerstone against Mike Orlando.
Adina just won a title somewhere else recently.
I
Oh,
believe
good
that
for
was
her.
Eclipse.
Phoenix. Yeah,
Isn't
Eclipse,
she,
Phoenix Bro?
I think she's been wrestling for CZW too.
Yeah, well, she's going to. If she hasn't happened,
okay.
she will. But I'm not sure if it happened. Or not.
Adidas has started a whole new thing on the internet. She's like CM Punk. Is she coming out in shorts or is she coming out in pants?
Oh yeah, so she goes back and forth.
Yeah. So are we getting pants, Adina, or are we getting shorts? Because now she has.
I'll go with pants because she wore shorts the last time.
There it is.
I think.
She didn't wrestle the last time.
Well, the last time she was there.
Yeah. Well, she was in pants at commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
There it is.
I hope so. I mean, a lot of guys wouldn't hope.
I don't know if
not,
everybody's
but
wearing pants for
yeah.
commentary.
Just showing love to the.
You can never
gear,
trust
to
that
the gear.
Bobo.
So like,
It is very nice gear.
what can you give us a teaser of what gear you're showing up at?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
Out of your
I
whole
can't-
wardrobe
I can't
of.
wear the Spawn stuff because my kick pads are being fixed. So I can't wear that, and I can't wear the Quantum Realm because that's the refix. So
And I think between you and me, we did get all of the matches out there.
Yeah, that was the last one.
And then I think we already mentioned this earlier, but already announced is appearing for PPW Reborn on February 12th. Jordan Oliver, Chelsea Green, Killer Cross, and Earl Hebner.
I believe if you want to get tickets for Reborn, you can get them the day of the show and get early access. I could be wrong,
I
but
think-
that's normally
I
what they do.
think, Yeah.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm sure they can work something.
Cards are still available, so if you want to order cards with, you get myself and Andy on your card.
The both the PPW trading cards.
The PPW trading cards you can get from,
Christmas card.
Yeah, so if you go to the links below, there is a PPW website. You can get your tickets.
$24.99 set for the cards.
I believe
something
so. Yeah,
that.
you can
And
get your
then,
tickets still, as well as you can get tickets at the door. Do not risk getting them at the door because they might not be available. That place sells out quick. It's gonna be really packed. A lot of big names. Convention's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, and you don't have to go to both. You can go with either one.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
go
a
either
good way
one.
to stay warm because it's going to be really cold that
Yeah,
day.
I
But
think
that,
it's
that,
like high
that'll
of
be
like
nice and warm in
10.
that building.
I'm sitting with two people, so I'm gonna be running around like a psycho. Yeah, I did that last show. It worked out pretty well. I had Jonah and PCO.
I had 3 people.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you had who?
I had
handler.
Yeah, I had Moose. Moose was kind of on his own.
Yeah.
Just running around like helping take pictures of people. I had Moose. I had Davey, and I had her
And
buddy Anthony Green. Yeah. Such a cool guy.
Dude,
Anthony
I love
Green
Anthony
Anthony
Green.
Green was
I
amazing.
became such a huge fan. Actually, the match that he told me to go watch, I actually went and seen, and it was excellent. It was him versus Daniel Garcia,
Okay.
and it was like his return to the company after he left after his release of NXT.
I watched some old stuff he did at the Sanctuary.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
And when his music hit, ooh baby, do you? That
Yeah,
place-
Belinda Carlisle. Heaven is a place on earth.
Yeah,
I have no idea what
awesome.
music
That
is.
the
I've
place
seen
went
her in concert.
the place went crazy, and you
True.
can tell on his face it was like,
Right.
I'm back on the indie
That's
scene.
cool.
This is
I've
awesome.
never seen him wrestle. Like
He's
Can't
such a
say
good guy.
anything.
Yeah, good guy. I think used to would have a good match stylistically. Like I think used to are very
Yeah.
in the same wheelhouse. It would be a good match. It'd be really fun to watch.
Again, I haven't seen wrestle.
Yeah.
Fight.
And he's
No.
he was getting me ready for what I'm really
Yeah.
focused on right now.
Trivia.
That's
What
right.
day is that? That's coming up.
That
isn't it?
is 2 weeks from tomorrow, the 28th of January at Pilgaroo Brewing in
The
Pottsville.
day before Backbreakers.
Yeah, the day before Backbreakers. I don't really want to push out too much because we have so much time and it's sold out.
Yeah.
you
So you
can-
can't go anyway.
Yeah,
Can't go.
but you can
buy
watch.
it. Yeah.
You can watch it live on
Yeah.
not fight pulled out.
I know they got something new. We'll have to look.
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick while
Yeah.
you're talking.
Is it gonna be live or taped and then you watch it later?
I think you watch it live.
I believe
Wow.
you can watch it
I
live.
think.
And if you're watching it live, I'm going to imagine that the announcer will be Pete DeLong, and you're in for a treat there
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
one of the best.
He's fantastic.
Pete and I think
A big name there. Obviously, you can't buy tickets to go see him, but you can see it live. Gary
Gary
Michael
Capetta.
Michael Capetta. Why am I saying Joel?
I
Gary
don't know.
Michael Capetta will be
'Cause
there.
he's going to get that no good Joe Davis.
That's what it is.
Ticketlife.com. You go to TicketLife LYFE. It's TicketLife/buy/BBE. $9.99 gets you the show,
How bad?
and it's a nice little prelude to the Royal Rumble because it's going to be right before the Royal Rumble.
there you go.
That's on at 4. It'll probably be done around like 6:30,
Yeah.
and then the Royal Rumble is going to be right after that.
And again,
Yeah,
Royal
and
Rumble
we'll
is
be-
on a Saturday.
And we'll be
this year.
driving home listening to it on my phone.
Oh god.
Or unless you want to hang around the Falcons nest.
No, that's
Nah.
that's a far
Yeah,
drive home.
that's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
bit of a hike.
2 a.m. Yeah.
We'll just come here and watch it. That's the move.
I got work. I'm going to bed.
All right, everyone. That's gonna do it for Tornado Tag Podcast episode 134. We're gonna go around the table. Andy, what are you wearing? What do you unplug?
I'm wearing a Tegan Knox shirt. I believe her new name is Nixon something. I forget.
Nixon Newell, is that?
Yeah, I don't know if that's it's a real name. I
That's
don't
a
know if
real
it's
name.
Working name. So
Dixie Normus.
yeah,
She'd be a Bond girl.
she can wrestle as that.
Yeah.
Dixon enormous. People probably have a different connotation, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm wearing. It's a WWE shirt, but I bought it because I like Tegan Knox. And
Yeah, Nixon Newell is her ring name, not a real name.
Okay, and then hopefully she'll show up in AW soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully she could get away from that fucking injury bug too.
But I know, poor
Yeah.
girl. Was she both?
Who just got hurt
ACLs?
again? Didn't someone? Did we just talk about someone just got hurt again?
A
Injury-
girl? Oh,
Charlie
guy?
Haas got hurt, but he seems to be okay.
No, I think it was
Uh,
somebody else we were just talking about. Oh, Phoenix. He not
Bad
hurt again, but
dislocation.
Oh, yeah.
it was just a dislocated
Which is-
elbow.
you watch it back, it looks like it fucking snapped
Yeah,
his
and
arm.
Jake
See-
Atlas said he won't be out long either because Jake
See, when I-
Atlas.
Yeah, he
when
wasn't that bad.
When I watched it, I said, I don't know if it's broke, but
Yeah.
definitely a I
It
said
looked
it's
bad.
Oh, I
because
said
when it
broke.
No, it
breaks-
looked like it snapped.
when it
Yeah.
broke the way I've dislocated so much times. It looked like just the way it went. It didn't go from like the bicep or the forearm. It went right at the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think he dislocated his elbow, but it looks dislocations look worse than breaks sometimes.
Sometimes it can be worse because it rips all the muscles
It
around.
stretches and rips muscles. Yeah. When I dislocate my shoulder, it looks like my arm is broke because my forearm twists to the left,
Oh,
my
God.
bicep twists to the right, and my wrist goes to the left. So I look like I'm twisted in 4 different directions. And then once it pops back in, it all straightens out.
Mm.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Crazy.
Dislocations are crazy.
That's weird with like Alexa Bliss when she would do that thing where she
Yeah,
would
remember
make
she
her
would,
arm
like-
pop
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
She would pop her elbow
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, because she's like
Yep.
double jointed or something.
Yeah, that was the only injury thing. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Jeff, we
We
got
already plugged the shows coming up.
Oh yeah, I'd like to plug my wife on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are in talks, just so everyone knows. That's news to everyone. Hi, Sharon.
I almost took it in a different way. Like
I was like,
I want
don't
to
know
plug.
what to say.
story.
I want to plug my wife. So I
yeah.
took it in a dirty way.
No, but you can take it any which way but loose. And if she's listening out there, yeah, if I embarrassed you, I'm not sorry. But I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, Brian.
ProjectHumanoid.com, as I always plug. We do have a new Murder My Dude coming out in about, what time is it?
9:24.
2.5 hours. A new episode will be
Ooh.
coming out midnight tonight. We're going to be talking about the murder of Rebecca Schaefer. She was a sitcom star in the 80s, victim of stalking, and ugly story, but we're going to be talking about that. Some more current stuff too. Who died the worst? Everybody's favorite. We're going to be doing that. ProjectTuner.com. You can find all of it. If you just look up Murder My Dude, wherever you're listening to this, you'll probably find us too.
Nice. A lot, just a spoiler, if not a spoiler. Most of the cases that are covered on your show are all solved crimes.
Yeah, we don't really do a lot of unsolved. I hate unsolved. I hate when I listen to a true crime
'Cause then you don't
podcast.
know the ending.
I'm like, oh, what's the ending? What's the ending? And they never found them. Oh, Lord, did I listen to this?
Yeah.
So we have done like Zodiac is unsolved.
They're big ones. Yeah.
We've done a few Jack the Ripper.
Well, yeah, it was Ed
unsolved.
Leslie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
But there
Zodiac.
were
Yes.
there were plenty of theories
No.
on Jack the Ripper too.
Yes.
So you
No.
can pick one of those.
Yes.
It was H.H. Holmes, even though it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Did you say Jack Tripper?
Yeah.
Jack
and,
T.
and,
Ripper.
Ripper.
and Zodiac was
Ed
And
Leslie.
Leslie.
Ted Cruz.
Ed Leslie.
Yeah, he was a Zodiac.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah,
It's a wrestling show.
No.
Kelly, what do you got?
Yes.
Not Cool in High School on Tuesday. We're doing Betty White, so we're going to do a tribute show to Betty. Tune in and check it out.
Spoiler alert! I found something out that like kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
She, what's her name? The lady who was actually the oldest on the show. I don't
Estelle
know.
Getty.
Huh?
Estelle Getty.
Estelle.
What's her name?
Oh, no.
So-
She played the oldest, but I think
the
BR.
oldest.
I
No,
think BR. was the
BR.
oldest, yeah.
B. Arthur.
BR
Maud.
did not like Betty White.
Really?
One of the only people who openly said she was not a fan of Betty White. And Betty was like, she was not a fan of me, but I loved her dearly. Like yeah.
Sometimes
It's so funny that B.
people
Arthur
just
was
don't
older than
vibe.
Estelle Getty, and Estelle Getty played her mom. That's hilarious.
Estelle Getty, there's another thing I learned on that is Estelle Getty went like after a couple seasons, she did it because they put the makeup on her to make her look
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
And then she went and got a facelift. So and then they're like, fucking now we have to put more makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she did Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? That's it.
And I'm wearing a black cuddle dud long sleeve shirt. That's what I'm wearing.
I am the
Same.
intimate warrior today. The
Yeah.
intimate warrior.
You can also check out.
Did you say you have a Love Dog t-shirt?
Love
And you
Dog?
might want to buy that off you.
Yeah.
I don't have a log dog now.
No, I said a cuddle
Oh.
dud. They're cuddle
okay.
dud.
I like
Um,
that name, Cub Dud.
Yes,
The-
I did.
You can
Sounds like
also
Pokemon.
you can also check out Andy and Kelly on the last episode of Truth Behind Illusion. We did ghost stories,
Mhm.
so that was the last episode. Go check that out at Truth Behind Illusion on all social media, as well as Not Cool in High School this Tuesday for the Betty White episode. IWEP Network and Interviews with Everyday People is coming back after a long hiatus. Episode 116 will air Monday at 4:00. It'll be I'm sitting down with Bobby Mushron. I want to give a quick thank you to Nikolai from Not Cool in High School. He got me out of a jam. My car was incapacitated, so he came and got me, drove me to the venue, helped me set up microphones,
that's
and
nice.
helped me set up the cameras. Very good interview. Local business owner in Monty City who just came out of a kidney and liver transplant in his last in like the 2-minute warning of needing it. So it was a crazy story. Go check it out. A lot of cool stuff coming up this on Interviews with Everyday People. I'll give you all a quick spoiler. Going to be filming another one next week that will air the following week. John Seasock, who is the former monster truck championship, and he won it with the Batman monster truck,
Oh,
and he's from
wow.
Frackville,
How
Pennsylvania,
about that?
and he's a local business owner. So I'll be sitting down with him.
Now
and talking.
he owned quite a few of the cars though, didn't
Yeah,
he? He
yeah.
owned more than the Batmobile one.
That's the one he won the championship.
Didn't
with.
he own the dog one too?
It's very possible. I don't know.
thought so.
I'll ask him.
Yeah,
I'm
ask
gonna
him
sit
which ones he owned. I can remember. I thought he owned more than that one.
I'm just
I thought
He
the
drove
dog one was
multiple
one.
trucks.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
and he won the championship. And
Has he ever won a monster truck match on the roof of Cobo Hall?
Yeah.
That was
I'll
rigged.
Where
ask
the
him.
Giants died.
A wrestling match rigged? No, it'll never happen. Real
The whole
quick,
monster truck.
Oh,
I had to throw
I
that
think-
word in there.
I could be wrong. I'm going to ask him off camera before we talk, but I think monster truck competitions are kind of in the same realm as professional wrestling.
no,
Get outta here.
No. Oh, you don't say.
Truckosaurus? No.
No, I'm saying the way they score it and cause. Yeah,
No, you don't say, Tone.
I don't know much about monster truck. I didn't
You,
know
They're awesome.
they are awesome.
I went to
I'm
one of his.
calling a Lunger
And the-
Blaze on you.
I will say
And
this:
there's
I
not a
never
good
under
video game.
I
Well-
never understood how they scored it. I was like, how do they?
When we
Nobody
get off the air here, I'm going to tell you a deep dark truth about old roller derby too.
Yeah.
Really?
You don't want to hear this, but
Mhm.
okay.
Oh no.
What
Yeah,
about the roller derby from the 90s? The
Eh,
when you were
Yeah.
on Blades.
worked.
Worked.
Yeah.
Bob Back-
Damn.
oh,
The
Bob-
Las Vegas hot dice. That I used to like watching
What
that.
was
Bob
Paul Lee's
Backlund
one that he
question for you.
had? Roller Jam?
Roller, that
You're,
came out-
you're gonna tell me that Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't real, and I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
cry.
Real quick though, one last bit of news here. Official for the GCW Hammerstein show on the 23rd. Joey Janela versus Matt Cardona.
Yeah, there it
It's
is.
official for the
He's-
Hammerstein
he
Ballroom.
sent them the letter. He sent them the photographic document evidence of him and Chelsea Green poolside. How is it going to play out? Who knows? Chelsea Green says, "I would never touch that sleazeball. Please answer your
It was
phone."
side texting. They used side texting to do a fake photos.
What they used to call it? He fucking superimposed.
Yeah.
Superimposed.
Fucking goat.
He superimposed
He
me.
fucking
with-
superimposed me, man. What can I say?
Those pictures are made out of thermite.
Yeah, that'll do it. Not cool. Yeah, not cool.
Oh.
Truth Behind Illusion, not that either.
Well, that's
Tornado
the- they're
Tech
both
podcast.
done
Check
right
out
now.
everything out.
Put out the right plug, McMahon.
Banging Beers on Sunday. Thank you guys. We love you.
Bye.
Bye bye.